Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? What's going on? Thank you for tuning in to another Daily Fitness live stream show. Yes, sir. Oh, turn that volume up. Do we have volume? Wait a minute. Let me make sure I got this right. Wait. How about now? Maybe that might hit it. Well, let's double check. Is that good? There we go. All right. I think I forgot to turn on the sound the way it was supposed to be going on, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. How's everybody doing today, man? It is Thursday. Haven't been able to get to streams at all this week. Had stuff going on, but we have got everything taken care of. So we are back regularly scheduling as we're supposed to be. I got in a little bit later than I planned to today. Had some stuff to take care of, but now we are good to go. So we are going to hop on this show and get this thing going, and hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully your Thursday is going the way you planned. If not, then let Mr. Chow break it down to you.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't become unalive, you are still here, still ticking, and still with us. You can still make something happen and make a change in your life. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are simultaneously streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. And if you are on YouTube, do me a favor. When you see that thumbs up button, do what the thumbs up button does and hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. If you're on YouTube, Kick, or Twitch, give a follow. Greatly appreciated. And if you want to contribute to today's show, Cash App and Venmo is Cash App is Daniel2888. Venmo is Danny-Daniel-00. Yes, sir. We have a good show lined up for you today. We're going to go over 3 different topics today, which is going to be fitness, the economy, and AI. Yes, sir. We're going to go over those 3 topics today. For fitness, we're going to go back to what we used to do. We're going to go over the muscle of the day today. Don't have a video to review or look over. Not really going to go over a video today. We're just going to get straight into fitness with just a muscle of the day with beautiful visuals that are going to be appeasing to the eye. So just get ready for that whenever we get that put up here. So we're going to go over the muscle of the day today for the fitness segment of the show. So it's going to be a whole lot of reading, a whole lot of education going on, and a whole lot of you learning about your body, because most people don't know about their body. They don't understand that know thyself is a thing that you're supposed to do. They just walk around knowing nothing. So for the fitness segment of the show, we are going to learn about the muscle of the day, which will be the bicep femoris. That is correct. Bicep femoris. Do you know where that muscle is located? Pretty sure you don't. That's what I'm here for. You're going to find out today. We're going to dive in deep, and we're going to look at some people in the gym working on said muscle and get a better understanding on how it works and what it takes to build that muscle up and how it looks on somebody who has that muscle developed. Then next, we're going to dive into what's the next segment of the show? Economy. Jesus, I almost forgot. We're going to dive into the economy segment of the show. On that portion of the show, first, we have to go first things first. We got to check in on the government shutdown for sure. We do got to check in on that. Yeah, we got to check in. We have to check in on the government shutdown. That'll be the first thing. We're just going to go over briefly. We ain't going to take too long. But then we're going to dive in, and we are going to learn and understand about private equities. Yes, we are going to sit down and dive deep and get a better understanding as to what private equity is and if that is something beneficial or harmful for your life.
I said, God damn.
Because we're going to dive in and get an understanding of how private equity works, and then we're going to see how private equity is working. Those, that's 2 different things. It works this way, but the way it's being utilized could be completely different. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you, give you some definitions, give you the breakdown of how it works. Then we're going to watch a small smidgen of a few videos just to get a deeper knowledge of people who run private equity firms or hedge funds or Forex exchange and stuff like that, just to see what they say and how they're ran. And then we're going to take a look at the life around us and try to figure out, hey, is that how it's being ran? Is it helping us out, or is it hurting us? Which one do you think? Yeah, I know. It's going to be crazy. Then, last but not least, we're going to dive into the last segment of the show, which is AI. We're going to look at the impact on artificial intelligence of what it has on the current job, on the job market in general. I guess right now we could say current job market because Well, that's where we're at. So we're going to look at AI. And when we look at AI, we'll take a look to see if it's been having a positive or a negative benefit on the job market, and to see how things have been working with the way people have been utilizing and using AI in the job market. Hopefully it's not that bad, but yeah, no, I mean, the way things are looking now, I think you can already answer what's about to go down when we get there.
Bruh.
Yeah, I think you already have an idea how this is going to look.
Bruh.
So yeah, so that's going to be it, what we got for Thursday. And we're also going to, and then at the very end of the show, we're going to take a look at the World Economic Forum. We always got to check them out. We always got to check out the World Economic Forum, because we got to see what direction they see the world going into, because they have a plan, and you is in it, but you ain't in it. You know what I mean? Like, you're in it in a bad way, but you ain't in it in a good way.
Bruh.
So, you know, if there's a lot of positivity going on, you ain't going to be in that part. But if it's a lot of bad stuff and negativity, yeah, that's for you.
Bruh.
Yeah. That's that part for you, for sure. So we're going to watch a video at the very end, short clip at the end to kind of close it out, to show exactly what's going on with the World Economic Forum and how they're pushing the AI agenda moving forward in the future. Then also in the AI segment of the show, we're going to watch a few AI generative videos, because they've been having a lot of videos out lately that's been, you know, basically they've been using, you know, dead artists, you know, like past artists or past people that passed away, presidents, politicians, political people, and just singers and all that stuff. So we're going to go in. We're going to take a look at some of those videos, because I'm not going to lie, they are entertaining. They are fun to watch. So we are going to have to take a look to see exactly how that's going. So we're going to look at some of those videos as soon as we kick off the AI segment. It's going to be fun to see. It's going to be real fun to see. So yes, we have a whole lot going on. So we're going to have to just take these things one by one, step by step. And when we get through with each segment, you should have something that you could take away and look back and be like, didn't know that. I learned something new today. So you should be able to learn something new in each step of the way, for sure, for sure. So we're going to go ahead and take our sweet little time, and we are going to go ahead and hop into the AI segment of the show. Excuse me, the fitness segment of the show. I'm already getting to the end. It's been a few days since I had done this, man, because just like I said, had stuff going on this week. So now that we got all that stuff taken care of, now we can sit down, take our time, and enjoy this show slowly but surely. And I'm gonna have to probably step away for a second and cut the AC on, because I'm about to break a sweat because it's hot in here. I forgot to turn the AC on, so I'm gonna have to probably disappear there when something's playing, and go, you know, hit the AC button, because yeah, it's getting a little hot in here. You know what I mean? It's getting a little hot. You know what I mean? Anyway, hopefully you woke up today, you had a good day today. Hopefully, you know, you got your workout in and got your coffee and whatever you need. On what is it, the West Coast is 10 a.m. Central is noon. East Coast is 1. So everybody is like either halfway through at work, or, you know, a couple hours into work, or, you know, at that, or on late lunch break. So we got everybody everywhere doing different things. So we're going to go ahead and just dive in and learn about something on the fitness segment of the show to understand exactly what this bicep femoris muscle is. So let's go ahead and get started and get this thing rolling. Where is it at? Here we go.
Let's get ready for the fitness segment of the show.
All right. There we go. Now that we got our banner up there, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first thing that we have. We are going to learn about the bicep femoris muscle. So pull this up on the screen. Oh, wait, we got to mute that sound. Pull this up on the screen. We're going to watch a visual video as I go over and read to you exactly what the bicep femoris muscle is. And I'm pretty sure you're probably thinking that the bicep femoris is probably your bicep, but it is not your bicep. It is actually on your leg. Yes, bicep femoris is on your leg, and your bicep brachii is the bicep muscle you're thinking about on your arm. So we're going to the legs today, because you're not supposed to skip leg day. So let me get this pulled up real quick so we can go ahead and get started. So, Up. Here we go. So let's pull this up right here on the screen so you can see. Let me change that banner. Where's the banner at? Where's the banner? I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, why is my banner missing? Oh, no, there it is. I guess I should have them right underneath each other. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. That helped out a lot. All right, so cool. So as we can see right here, we have the bicep femoris muscle. Very used to Anatomy Lab with the video. We're going to let the video roll while I sit down and break down to you and read this to you right here. This is pretty important for you to see to get a good visual. So right here we have the bicep femoris, and it's one of the hamstring muscles with the level of detail you'd expect at the top. Whoops, hold on, that's not it. Here we go. So the name of the muscle is called the bicep femoris, and the location of it is on a posterior lateral compartment of the thigh, part of the hamstring group with the semitendinous and semimembraneous. The heads, you have a long head and you have a short head. The long head, it originates from the ischial tuberosity, which is shared with the hamstring tendon. And then the short head, it originates from the linea aspera and the lateral supracondylar line of the femur. So more distal and not from the ischial tuberosity. Now the insertion of the muscle is going to be the lateral head of the fibula. The lateral head of the fibula. So as you're going to see right here, your lateral head of your fibula is, where is it at? And the lateral condyle of the tibula. So there we go. So the tendon splits in the attachments to the fibula head and the lateral tibular condyle area helps from the lateral collateral and the popliteal complex mechanism. So they're speaking on down here in the knee area, okay? Because your knee is your popliteal. That's another name for knee, is your popliteal area down here. So your insertion is going to be here, right down here, okay? So where we insert at, over here. And then we have the, let's see, the long, where is it at? Let me see. I mean, this is a tough explanation. They got me going on this one. Let me see. What was I looking for? Let's see. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. This will make it a lot easier because they're hitting me hard with all this stuff they got on here, and it's very, 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 very confusing. There we go. All right, so we'll take it from the top. We'll take it from the top. So the bicep femoris is one of the muscles that make up the hamstring groups. It lies on the posterior and lateral side of the thigh and plays a major role in both the hip and knee movement. There you go. That makes it sound a lot better. There we go. And as you see the rotating the hip and knee movement, so you're seeing the hinge motion right there. And the long head originates from the ischial tuberosity of the pelvis, which is right up here. Let's go ahead and rewind this. The ischial tuberosity of the pelvis, which is right up here. This is where the long head originates. And the short head originates from the linea aspera and the lateral supracondyle ridge of the femur. All right, they're moving to a different section right here, but as you can see, it'll be more up top. And then we have the insertion, the innervation of the long head, which is going to be the tibial division of the sciatic nerve, and the short head, common fibular division of the sciatic nerve. Functions of these are going to be at the knee joint, it flexes the knee, it externally rotates the tibia when the knee is flexed. At the hip joint, the long head also helps with hip extensions, moving the thigh backwards. During walking and running, it decelerates leg swing before the foot strikes the ground. Eccentric contraction. Works with other hamstrings to extend the hip during propulsion. There we go. I need to zoom in so I can see this better. Alrighty, and then what else would we have? Key factors is only the long head crosses both the hip and the knee joints. We got time. Two heads, they equal two different nerve supplies. The primary role is knee flexion and external rotation. So the secondary role is hip extension. Common site of strain is the proximal or distal myotendinous junction. So this is going to be the muscle that we use to strengthen up the hamstrings. It's practically your hamstring muscle. So when you're doing workouts like RDLs or leg press on a leg press machine, depending on where you place your feet, or you're doing leg curls, laying down, prone position, and different things like that, which we'll take a look at different workouts here in a second. So we'll look at different workouts that actually have that actually are basically part of this muscle right here. So as you can see, it's the hamstring muscle right here. It has two parts, a long head and a short head. And right here, as you can see right here, it originates up here and inserts down here. Is that correct? That is correct. But wait, hold on. Where is that right there? Overhead, heads, and then insertion. Yep. Oh, wow. He did a whole jump. All right. So as we can see here, we have a good understanding of how this thing works. Okay. So let me go ahead and get this off of the screen and pull this back up. All right. So there we go. So we now have a good understanding as to what the bicep femoris is. All right. Now we're going to take a look at some people actually working out this muscle. Whoopsies, whoopsies, whoopsies. We got to turn down the volume. Somebody was in my way. All right, cool. We got to turn down the volume on these videos, and we're going to look at some ladies who work out these muscles, because what better way to look and see how a muscle is worked watching women work them out. They want to show it to us. We want to look at it. So that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and mute all these real quick first before we get to it. And just know that, you know, your bicep femoris is one of your hamstring muscles. So there's going to be two of them as you work out. So just know that whenever you're working out your hamstring muscles, that you have a long head and a short head. Pause. All right. So for the first person we're going to take a look at, we're going to enjoy looking at while we go over this, is right here. So we got this lady right here. As you can see, the hamstrings, if they show us our hamstrings, there we go. So you have her working out her hamstrings. Then we got this ugly lady right here popping up on the screen. Then next we have this one right here. She's doing her. So right here is going to be where the bicep femoris is, right back there, as you can see. And if you're doing hip extensions or anything like that, and depending on if she's lifting on her heel or if she's lifting on her toes, she's going to work that muscle right there. Then we have this lady here. I guess she's doing leg day as well. There we go. Right there. You can see the muscle as she's extending and hip hinging her hips. So that's going to be the bicep femoris from a different angle. This is actually the best angle right here. So we got that one there. Then we have these two snowflakes going in right here, and they're both going to be doing the same workout, hip hinge. So these are good. These are called RDLs, Russian, or is it Romanian deadlifts? So these are going to basically work these muscles back here, your hamstrings, and only if you push your butt back. If you push your butt back and hinge over, then you'll be good. But if you bend your back over, it's not going to be the same. So this one here. Now this lady here, I guess she's stretching her her hamstring muscles. So as we see here, she's stretching out the hamstring muscles. I'm enjoying this one. This is pretty nice. I gotta get rid of it. We might have to watch this twice. So let's just double up on this one. Yep, we're gonna double up on that one. Yeah, buddy. Let's go ahead and give her a round of applause on that one, buddy. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, boy. All right. Stretch out your hamstring muscles. Yes, sir. This is what they want us to see. This is what we're going to appreciate. And then this one right here, she says, thought I was making gains, the biceps on my legs. So she understands. You can see her. She has actually pretty good defined muscles right there in the legs. You can see hers. She's probably like all of like 4'3". But see hers right here? You can see it right there. The little bulge right there in her hamstrings. She's got it. Then we got this one here. She's going in. I'm thinking she's going to do, yeah, so same thing. They're RDLs, but except she's using the whole barbell on a Smith machine, so the bar doesn't move. And you can't really see, her muscles aren't too defined, but I mean, hey, doesn't have to be all that defined. Everybody know what she's showing us. And then we got this one right here, which would be the last one, I believe. She's doing the Romanian deadlift as well. She's showing good form and bad form. And actually, this is a good one to see. So she's showing you how not to do it and how to do it. So here's the way not to do it. Holding the weight too far, curve your lower back, overextend it. Yes, you don't want to be touching the ground with the weight and bending over. See, hinge first. So push your butt back, weight close to the body, back parallel with the floor, and squeeze your butt to your glutes to stand up. So yes, sir. So she gave us a really good, you know, crash course on how to do and how not to do. The only thing I would say is clean up your house around you before you make videos. Because, yeah, if your house is dirty, well, then what else will be dirty? We all understand what comes on there. Like, yeah, like clean all this up, sweetie. Get all this cleaned up first. Visual's good, but I mean, if the house dirty, then what else is dirty? But other than that, you gave us a good understanding. She got nice skin, though, and she got her feet out. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. But other than that, though, she gave us a good visual. She gave us a good understanding of what's going on. She just needs to clean. That's it. Clean up. You look good, but ain't no point looking good if you're dirty. But yes, sir, that's all we have for that. It's going to be the bicep femoris muscle. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have to go back to some of these. I'm gonna have to hold on to a couple of these videos. Use these for another leg day. Oh man, we had one more. Oh, we sure did have one more. Oh yeah, that was that one was an extra. I see. Yep, this one's fantastic. Can't let you guys see this one though. But anyway, you get the point. So that's going to be the bicep femoris muscle. That's what we're going to be focused on today for the fitness segment of the show. Let's see if we can find one. Well, actually, no, we don't need to find nothing else for the fitness segment of the show because we have a long way to go when it comes to the economy and AI. Mainly the economy because there's a lot of stuff that we have to look into. But the main thing is whenever you're doing hamstring workouts, you really don't have to hit too many different workouts within a day. You keep it fairly simple. All you need to do is number one, hit your macros before you work out, carb up. So get a high count of protein, a high count of carbs before you go into your leg day because you're going to need the energy because it's going to take a lot out of you. And then if you get some creatine and a pre-workout in your body, you'll be good to go. Take a couple supplements as well. Then after that, when you're doing your leg day, hamstring workouts like that, you could do the RDLs with the dumbbells or the bar. You could do the leg curl extensions, which would be this workout right here. So this is going to be the leg extensions. The leg curl, prone leg curls, which is this right here. This right here. So actually doing prone face down leg curls or leg extensions, whatever you want to call it, but face down with these. So these will get your hamstrings real good. And then also the RDLs, which is the one we saw a bunch of people doing, of course. Then you have the leg press. I don't think anybody here was doing a leg press. I think everybody kept it real simple. She actually had a good one here. So this one right here, what she was doing over here, you can do these, she's focused on one leg at a time, how she has 1 foot out and then 1 foot back. She's focused on doing one leg at a time. I personally never do these, but you can see the hamstrings working on these. And these step ups, these actually work good as heck. These work good as hell. I would usually use like a higher platform, but I could see what she's doing with this. And she has a weight on this hand and this hand to kind of guide herself up with the weight. And when she's stepping up, if you step and push yourself up with your heel, you're going to activate all this down here. All that down there is going to get activated when you step up. You know what I mean? So whenever she's doing that step up right there, go down and push with your heel and try not to use this foot to push up. Slowly push up and you'll feel all that muscle that you normally don't fire off. You'll feel it big time. Like you'll feel it big time and watch. When she does it, you'll actually see like the muscle engage, like slowly, but she does it quick though. If she does it slower, it would be a little bit different. Let me see. Well, I can't really see it. Jesus Christ. Let's try again real quick. Boom. And see it right there. You can see it back here engaging on this leg alone. And she's doing single legs step ups, which these help a lot. I'll give it to you. I would say do step ups, RDLs, prone leg curls, and leg press. Those 4 workouts, and add some squats in there. You only need about 4 or 5 workouts for leg day, and you'll be good to go. You don't want to overdo it because leg day takes a lot out of you. It takes the longest to do. unless you're like some crazy, insane bodybuilder that's, you know, juiced up on roids to the gills, and that's a whole different story for a whole nother time. But yeah, so that's gonna be the main thing that you do. But whenever you get done with leg day and you leaving and you're done with your workout, make sure you protein up for the rest of the day. Stay away from breads and tortillas and candy and sugary drinks and desserts and stuff like that. Just make yourself full off of protein. You know what I mean? So like ground beef, chicken, beef, steak, whatever it is. Try to satisfy your hunger with protein. Okay? If you can satisfy your hunger with protein, so every time you eat, and try to hit your protein goals, so your protein macro goals. For me, my protein macro goals in grams would be 200 grams of protein. If I can get to 200 grams of protein a day, I'm good. And I can ignore carbs because your body naturally makes carbohydrates on its own. And the fats, as long as you're not eating any, if you focus on protein, you really don't have to focus on the fats all too much. You can, if you want to eat like nuts or walnuts or avocado and stuff like that, depending on what you're eating, you know what I mean? If you want healthy fats, you can go that route. But focusing mainly on your proteins after your workout, that's going to be what helps repair your muscles. That's what's going to help you gain muscle and repair your muscle. It builds muscle and repairs muscles. So as long as you can focus on doing that after your workout, you'll be good to go. You can have a little bit of carbs after your workout, but since you're done working out, you don't want to carb up too much, because now you're still burning calories throughout the day because you worked out, but you're not burning as many calories because you're not working out. So the carbs, use that to burn it off during your workout. Whatever you don't burn off with your carbs, usually is going to turn into fat. It's going to turn into like sugary fat, or whatever they say, glycose or glucogen, or whatever the word is. But it's going to turn into fat. So you want to not actually eat so many carbs after your workout, but focus more on your protein, which will repair and build your muscles throughout the day. And you don't really have to eat as much. Just stay full on protein throughout the day and you'll be good to go. Your body will slowly but surely take shape. Just focus exactly on what it is that you need to be eating, and just try not to eat, like I said, breads, tortillas, sugary drinks, and make sure you hit your macro goal. Make sure you hit that protein goal. Out of all of them, carbs, protein, and fats, you want to hit the protein one for sure, because that's going to be repairing and building your muscle. Carbs are only, for my opinion, pre-workouts. Pre-workouts, carbs. After your workout, still eat carbs, but not as much. Not as much. Keep it moderate, keep it light, keep it simple. And yeah, so that's what your body's gonna need. And it's a very simple task. It's just nowadays everything's so freaking expensive, it makes it harder to attain and do this. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You still gotta make it happen. So yeah, so that's going to be it for the fitness segment of the show. We're just going to go over a particular workout. So that's the muscle of the day. That's what we got in for you today. Yeah, so the bicep femoris is actually a two-headed muscle. So just keep that in mind. And whenever you're doing your muscles, lighten up the weight. Always lighten up the weight whenever you're doing workouts, because you want to feel the muscle actually firing off. When you put too much weight on, you start overcompensating and screwing up your form, and you're overcompensating on the workout, and you're not actually working out the correct muscle. Like if you were to do, where is it? I'll show you right here. If you were to do this workout right here, the one that she's doing right here, this girl, if you do this workout right here and you put too much weight on it, if you put too much weight on this right here, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to use your arm muscles to help pull this weight up, which is good. It's not bad. I'm not knocking it. But at the same time, if you lighten the weight and you go up and slowly bring the weight down slow. Nice. Oh, she got some J's. Bring the weight down slowly. That's where you're gonna feel everything pull at, is that slow let down. Because if you can control the weight coming down, as opposed to pulling it up and letting it go down, control that weight going down, it'll be a lot harder for you to hit your rep range because you're controlling the weight coming up and you're controlling the weight coming down. It's about weight control, not just lifting the weight. Don't just lift the weight, control it. And when you control weight, you're going to realize you're going to be using less weight. You're not going to be using as heavy of weights because it takes a lot of muscle to go up and go down. It takes a lot more muscle to control, and you're going to feel a hell of a lot more of a burn whenever you're doing that. I'm trying to see if I can find somebody doing a different workout than what the other ones were doing. Nah, everybody's doing about the same workouts. But it doesn't take many workouts to do leg day. It doesn't really take that many. As long as you focus on a particular area, if you're doing like hamstrings that day only, or quads that day only, or glutes that day only, I incorporate calves with every leg day. So it's always a two muscle workout, either hamstring calves, quad calves, glute calf, whatever. But whichever one you're focused on, it only takes so many workouts. But your legs require so much more, so you feel just like you feel gassed out, just because your legs are your foundation of your body. It carries your body weight around. It carries the upper part. It carries everything around all the time. So you want to make sure that your legs are, strong and it's able to carry you. And also add cardio to your workouts, because as you progress or you start to gain weight or you gain muscle, you're going to want to be able to carry the new muscle that's on your body, because muscle weighs more than fat. But if you're adding muscle to your body, do cardio or some kind of cardio endurance workout so your body doesn't feel a shock. So if you are working out and you're gaining weight, doing cardio while you're gaining or after your workout and doing, like, I would say do running, because the impact of the running and the endurance that it takes to do it, it's not gonna feel so heavy on your body. Your body needs to know how to carry this new weight. You need to be able to carry the weight physically for an extended period of time. It's kind of like how the military works out. They're not just big and swole, but they're actually able to carry their body. You want to be able to carry your body weight. You don't want to just have this body weight, but you can't functionally carry it around because it's too heavy, because you don't train to carry your body weight. So always train to carry your body weight doing some kind of cardio or martial arts or something like that. You want to be able to carry this weight as you develop muscles and things like that. Don't just go out there getting big and you can't even turn sideways, wipe your own ass because you're getting so big and swole. Go out and do some jogging or cardio to be able to carry yourself, to carry the weight, so it doesn't feel overbearing. And plus, it's going to help with your breathing, because the more muscle you have, the more oxygen you require. So you want to be able to, utilize, or basically be able to understand how much oxygen your body requires now, because you're increasing muscle. So when you get to a new point of exhaustion, your body's going to get exhausted more if you don't train it with this new amount of muscle that you've added to it. You got to keep training it and get it acclimated. You know what I mean? If you don't use it, you lose it. So you got to, grow your cardio as well as whenever you grow your muscles and everything like that. It's a whole process. It's a whole lot that goes into it. All right. But yeah, that's going to be it for the fitness segment of the show. We're going to go ahead and slide on over to the economy segment. Let me change this banner out. There it is. There it is. Got that banner. Change the economy. And we're going to have a lady bring us into the economy segment of the show. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Here we go.
Welcome to the economy segment of the show. Enjoy.
All right, there we go. There we go. Whoops, forgot a round of applause for it. Here we go. All right, so here we go. So first things first, we have to check in on this shutdown. Yes, sir. So the government is on day 15 of the shutdown. That's not looking too shabby at all. So 15 days of shutdown, still people are getting laid off. Still, if this goes on for a month, I don't know how the airports are going to look, how the government assistant programs are going to look, how people I think the military got paid. I think they finally paid the military. But before we dive into the military, let's take a look, because I think California actually caught a dub. Where is it at? Let me see if I still have it up. I think I might actually took it off, and I didn't mean to. Where is it? Where is California with their dub? California caught a dub because I think a judge blocked. Where is it? Where are you? I thought I had it up already. Here it is right here. So California caught a dub. It says the federal judge temporarily blocks Trump's layoffs during shutdown. So this just happened earlier today or yesterday. So let's take a look at this quick video real quick. And let's see, because California don't ever catch dubs. California just catches wreck at all times. So we'll watch this little short clip to see exactly the dub that California caught. So here we go. Fair use.
One win for so many in limbo right now. A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from laying off federal workers during the shutdown. The California judge granted a temporary restraining order requested by unions representing about 4,000 employees who were fired. Tonight, News 4's Jackie Benson sat down with the general counsel for the American Federation of Government Employees, one of the parties in this legal matter.
Okay, there we go. All right, so as you see right here, they filed a, what is this? I don't know what they filed. For the defendant, Ms. Hedges, in the court. More to y'all. First, let me say, at least some of you, that I appreciate you being here and share your thoughts with me, because I know that you're not being paid for your time, and it's a shame that this is the case. Oh, wow, okay. So they're in the court, and the court is speaking. I appreciate you for being here, because I know you're not, but I know from having worked with many of the lawyers in this room before that you are dedicated public service and will do your jobs, and we appreciate that very much. This is the judge, or the court talking, so I guess this would be the judge. I'm sorry for the situation in which we find ourselves with respect to the payment. Today, we are addressing the plaintiff's request for a temporary restraining order to prevent any further rifts being implemented during the government shutdown. I have a couple of things to say about the evidence that's been presented and my views on it, and then I'll be happy to hear from counsel to add what you would to tell me what you want to tell me. I am inclined to grant the plaintiff's motion. The evidence suggests that the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, and the Office of Personal Management, OPM, have taken advantage of the lapse in the government spending and government functioning to assume that all bets are off and that the laws don't apply to them anymore, and that they can impose the structures that they like on the government situation that they don't like. All right, so as you can see, this was October 15th, 10:37 a.m. This was yesterday, okay? So they just went in yesterday and spoke on this. So this has just happened. So let's go ahead and let this video keep playing. So here we go.
In the transcript of proceedings from U.S. District Court in the Northern District of California, Judge Susan Ilston says she believes the plaintiffs in the case, unions representing federal workers fired during the shutdown, are likely to prove that what the administration has done is illegal.
At least for the next 14 days, the administration will be unable to issue any new reduction in force notices at any agencies that we sued. And it will also be unable to implement the reduction in force notices that it has already issued.
Rashab Sanghvi is general counsel for the American Federation of Government Employees, one of the plaintiffs in the matter.
When the government does something, right, it can't be for arbitrary reasons. It can't be based on some unlawful motive. It has to be a reasoned decision. Just because for this short period of time.
All right, so the motive, which I thought the motive for this was because of Trump's hell-bent on the immigrants. I thought he did this government shutdown because, number one, he wanted to reduce the size of the government. And then number two, he also was trying to get rid of the illegal immigrants who are basically getting benefits off of the government. At least that's what I've read. I'm trying to find where I read. Jesus Christ, this is a lot of stuff they have in here. Where is it, right? Where is it? Where does it say that? Because he has it somewhere where he speaks on why there's a government shutdown, but I can't. Let me see. What are your issues right here? Let's see. Economy, energy, social issues. Let's go to the economy. Let's see. So Congress, President Trump. let's see what we have here. He's created 500,000 jobs. So I don't see here where he says anything like this, but you know what? It really won't be too hard to find. All I gotta do is type it in real fast. So let's go ahead and pull this up real quick right here and find out why he shut down. So let's see. Why did President Trump shut down? And it's crazy because it says that the Democrats shut down the government, but in all reality, you know, it's kind of funny. So some Democrat programs to be cut during this. Yes. So basically he's cutting down a lot of Democratic stuff inside, but let's see. Where does it happen? Where does he say that right now? Where does this man actually mention where he shut down the government? Because I believed it was for those two reasons. He wanted to reduce the size of the government, a lot of Democratic stuff that's going on within the government, but also to get rid of a lot of illegal immigrants who are taking over benefits from the government. So we're going to see how that exactly pans out. So let's see. Here's what this means. So the government shutdown has lasted. Okay, let's read this real quick. So here's this right here. So this is NPR News. So this is right here. We'll read this little thing right here. So if you can see it, we'll read it. The government shutdown has lasted 16 days and counting. 16 days. And on the website, it says 15 days. All right. So I guess they're a day behind. Republicans and Democrats. And this is on October 3rd. Oh, no, this sign is from October 3rd. Okay, cool. The Republicans, you know what? Let me make sure this ain't from the last year. Nope, 2025. All right, we're good. We're good. I saw it. Republicans and Democrats appear no closer to an agreement to reopen it. The Senate on Thursday again failed to advance a bill to reopen the government. The chamber's 10th attempt to vote on a short-term funding bill passed by the House since the shutdown began on October 1st. The Trump administration has been following through on the threats to slash the size of the government during the shutdown. Well, he's been following through, laying off thousands of workers late last week. A hearing in the federal court Wednesday considered the legality of those layoffs. The judge overseeing the case issued a temporary restraining order directing the Trump administration to pause RIF notices to federal employees who are members of two unions, the American Federation of Government Employees, the AFGE, and the American Federation of State, County and Municipal Employees, AFSCME. Jesus, that's a lot of letters. President says he has no plans to fire more federal workers en masse while the shutdown continues and will specifically target what he called Democrat programs. Oh, wow. So while active military members were set to miss their first full paycheck on Wednesday over the weekend, President Trump said he identified funds to ensure the active military gets paid. All right, well, let's give him a round of applause for that one. Hopefully that went through, and hopefully I ain't blowing the horn too soon. The DoD, Department of Defense, will use about $8 billion of unused research and development funding from the last year to pay service members if the government doesn't reopen by the 15th, according to a Pentagon official. That would likely only cover one pay cycle, and military families are already seeking additional assistance from food banks and other groups to help with paying bills. Wow, so that's got to be a big hit on the military active duty, because not only do they get a paycheck, but they also have basic allowance for housing. So, yeah, that's rent, that's utilities, that's food, and that's a check. Jesus. As the shutdown drags on, here are the latest on what we know. Why the government shut down? A partisan argument over if and when lawmakers need to extend subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. Marketplace led to the current shutdown. So some 24 million people who don't have insurance through their jobs or public programs like Medicaid use the system to buy health plans. All right. So then we have prominent Republican lawmakers have claimed that the Democrats are looking to provide tax dollars to help pay for health care of undocumented immigrants. That is not true. Democrats in the Senate refused to vote for the Republican short-term funding bill that passed the House, but did not include an extension of the health care tax credit. Democrats are also hoping to repeal cuts to health care programs that were put in place as part of the GOP spending and tax bill that passed over the summer. All right. And then we have WIC and SNAP. Among the first to feel the pinch during the shutdown could be the 7 million mothers and young children who rely on SNAP program for women and infants and children, or WIC. Oh, wow. Funding was estimated to run out after 2 weeks, but the USDA has distributed money from the previous fiscal year, helping at least some states. And the White House has said it will use tariff revenue to keep the WIC afloat, though has provided few details. Okay. When asked for more information, the White House referred to NPR to USDA, which we did not reply to a query. So Trump's budget proposal earlier this year had looked to cut WIC funding. All right, man. So beyond WIC, the country's much larger food aid program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is called SNAP, is funded through October. That's because the debit-like cards people use to buy food are loaded a month in advance. So benefits will continue for October, but in a memo seen by NPR, USDA last week told state agencies to hold off paying for November benefits for lack of sufficient funding until further notice. Oh, no. Where's my sound? There we go. So, yes. So, WIC is getting taken care of. Women for, what is it? What the hell does WIC stand for again? Women, infants, and children. So, that's, if you ever wonder why women was go so damn crazy, it's because they got the government titty to look off. So they'll take care of WIC, but then SNAP will run out, I guess you could say this month, because if they pay a month in advance, then September would be paid for in October. So this month. So you're not getting no money for October carry over to September, right? That's what they said, right? Let me see. It says it's funded through October. That's because the debit cards are, but in the memo it says USDA last week told state agencies to hold off paying for November benefits. Yeah, so if you pay for November benefits, that means you have to pay for October to carry you over to November. So WIC has funding, but SNAP won't have funding if this continues. And this is also, so that's going to hit so any other government program. So the Affordable Health Care Act, that's another one that they're aiming at. And they're over there fighting on the fact that they believe that the Affordable Health Care Act is paying for illegal immigrants. And that's what I was mentioning earlier. He feels like that it's paying for illegal immigrants for health care. But they're saying it's not true. They're saying that they claim the Democrats are looking to provide tax dollars to help pay for health care of undocumented immigrants. They say it's not true. The Democrats in the Senate refused to vote for the Republican short-term funding that passed the House, but did not include an extension of the health care tax credits. Okay, so therefore, he's basically making everyone feel the strain for all the undocumented immigrants who come here illegally. That's what mainly I think his fight is over. He's like, in order to get them out, he's like, ICE is number one, is what it seems like, and then everybody got to feel this pain. So on top of ICE being one thing he takes out, the second thing would have to be all the free healthcare or government assistance that they get. So in order to get them off of government assistance, you gotta, you have to make them feel the pain is what he's looking at. He's like, okay, so if ICE takes away a lot of people, that means jobs will open back up is the way he sees it. Then if you crack down on a bunch of government assisted programs, then also that's going to put a strain on a lot of undocumented people as well. But the thing is, if they're undocumented and they're getting government assistance, when you turn the assistance back on, if you turn the assistance back on, would they continue getting? Would they continue to get assistance? Or is there going to be a new system in play for you to prove that you're not undocumented? You know what I mean? That's kind of confusing. I'm trying to figure that part out, but so far that part doesn't make sense to me. So I see he's putting a squeeze on, But yeah, this is going to come with a ripple effect for sure. I mean, hell, it's already coming with an effect now. I'm just like I'm kind of like, wow, that they did the active military like that. I mean, you would think that they would make sure that they're good regardless. That would be a no-brainer. Like, I mean, if that's what you're doing it for, the active military should have been a no-brainer. Like, it should have been like, they gonna be good, this don't apply to them. But you got them stressing out. And it's like, fam, you can't do that to the active military people. Not them. No, they're active military. You know, their family got to be taken care of. And you can't be undocumented or an immigrant in the military. You know what I mean? Like, it don't work like that. That's not how that works. At least I don't think it does. Let me do some research on that before I find. Let me find out real quick. Let's see. Can you join the military? Let's see. Can you join the military as an immigrant? Let's see. Well, you probably can as an immigrant, but not undocumented. Let's see. As an undocumented. Non-citizens in the U.S. military must be living permanently and legally in the United States. Non-citizens must also have permission to work in the U.S. Okay. Currently, undocumented immigrants are not eligible to join the military. However, a past program allows certain non-citizens with critical skills to enlist, but it is currently suspended. Oh, wow. Didn't know this was a thing. Okay. See, he's not playing around for real. This right here, I didn't know this is a thing. So currently, undocumented immigrants are not eligible to join the U.S. military. However, a past program called MAVNI, M-A-V-N-I, allowed certain non-citizens with critical skills to enlist, but it's currently suspended. Okay, well, all right. Let's see. The debate on allowing undocumented immigrants to serve in the military involves complex legal, security, and historical considerations reflecting diverse perspectives within society. So, okay, well, I guess it was a thing. I guess they were allowed. So anything that has to do with you not following the proper procedures and protocols to come in the United States, he has his foot on, like, I mean, he's got his foot on that situation for sure. But I mean, you can look at the top part, but underneath, you know, what else is there to this? Because this can't just be it. I'm pretty sure there's more to it than just this. But the government shutdown, unfortunately, continues, and we will continue to see this situation pan out. We're going to see how long this goes on for. A lot of people are going to feel the pain. It's going to be very painful. It's not going to look too good. As a matter of fact, let me see what some people have. There was one woman who spoke about this. Let me find her. Let me see. Let's see. Government shutdown. Let me see. How do people feel about this? Let's see, good or bad? Let me find this real quick because I want to see people talking about this and see how they feel about it. Let's see, government should I be? Oh my goodness, can they read my horrible typing? If you haven't checked in, let's see. No, it's just a bunch of people complaining. But let me see. Let's see how people are faring with this. So let's see what this lady has to say. She's going to speak on the government shutdown. I look like she's a government employee. So let's see what she has to say and see how it fares on her. So let's get this pulled over and pull this down. And let's see what she has to say. So I'm over here screwing this up. She's talking. We can't hear her. Pause there, sweet lady. Pause. You know what? Let me pull this back out. I screwed that up. See, TikTok is hard to deal with. Let me go back. So let's try that again. So boom, boom, boom. And here we go. Let's hear what she has to say. So she's a worker. Let's see what she has to say. Day 15.
Of the government shutdown and me being furloughed. They voted again last night with no movement. I went to work out this morning and did yoga afterwards, which was so needed. We did about 10 minutes of just a quiet relaxation, and the instructor really talked life into me, what I really needed. Don't think about things you can't change. Don't stress over things you can't change. I needed that because coming on day 15, things are getting stressful. We did find out that my husband got paid this week. He is military, so thankfully we don't have to worry about that, but I have no idea when I'm going back to work, when my next paycheck will be. This is hard knowing that the holidays are coming. This is the time of year that we start planning for Christmas and all of that. So that's kind of weighing heavy on me. So hopefully, if you're a government employee, federal employee, military, any of that, your family, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, so Christmas is gonna be a tight one this year. The holidays gonna be tight. I mean, Thanksgiving you can make do, but Christmas is gonna be tight. Christmas is not gonna be an easy one to deal with this year. It's not gonna be fun.
Reach out.
Hold on, be quiet. And just reading some of these comments over here, let me actually pull some of these comments up. That's what I should do. Let's go ahead and look at some of these comments. I'll pull these comments over. Let me get this situated on the screen so maybe you can see it. Can you see? Oh, I did good. Oh, you can see that for sure. Okay, cool. Let's read the comments. So right here, user, I'm going to say this is a fake person. Who the hell has a damn account name? User 1121. Yeah, basically. We got this lady here. She's praying for you. Okay. This lady says, I'm going through the exact same thing. I broke down yesterday twice. It's been rough. So remember, you're not alone. Hopefully it won't be long. Yeah. Let's see. This lady says, I'm trying to distract myself and stay focused by keeping my mind busy and reminding myself that I don't control this. Working out helps a lot. You should be doing that regardless. We'll get through this, and I'm praying it will end soon. Hello from Hawaii. Hawaii? Huh. Interesting. Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that does make sense. Yeah, so she's working out, but she didn't work out prior to it. Let's see what we have here. There's always Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Spark, etc. Get yourself a side hustle. Oh, he's right on that. Yes, but even these things are you're getting paid less for these jobs right here, but it's something. But Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, I never heard of Spark, but yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to stay busy. I've gotten a lot of projects done, which was a relief to get them off the list. Keeping my mind busy has definitely helped me not stress so much. Yeah, got to keep yourself busy. Somebody says tough. Praying for you, praying for you, praying for you, praying for you. Girl, we're in the same boat. Hang in there. It will be all right. We had to call the bank yesterday and skip a truck payment. Skip 2 months on a loan. They are working with us. Sit down and make some of those calls, and it should take the stress off. So as you can see there, yes, sir. Everybody's feeling the brunt of this, especially that, oh man, being in the military, I mean, that's a slap in the face. But they got paid, so it can't be too bad. But, you know, being in the military and with kids, that's got to be super duper stressful. So I can only imagine. Can only imagine. So let's see here. Let me see if I can find another one real quick. Let's see what this lady has to say. While it's illegal for them to strike, you have the first minute of speaking. Okay, she's over here trying to fight. Let's see. Government. Wait till them checks don't clear. That's the second. Let me see. What we have here. This lady just put something here. She's a furloughed federal employee, but she's just speaking nonsense. Let me see if I can find one more person. Will be okay. Speaking of the guy, here's Trump right here, and we have one right here where it says that during the Oval Office press conference, Trump said federal layoffs caused by the government shutdown would be Democrat oriented. The White House Budget Office announced that mass firings of federal workers have started. And said, okay, so let's see what this is. This is 5 days ago. So let's hear what this has to say right here. Let's check this out real quick.
Folks said the reductions in force have begun related to this shutdown. How many layoffs have you authorized for this first round, and from which agencies?
And it will be Democrat-oriented because we figure, they started this thing, so they should be Democrat-oriented. It'll be a lot, and we'll announce the numbers over the next couple of days, but it'll be a lot of people. And I must tell you, a lot of them happen to be Democrat-oriented. These are people that the Democrats wanted that in many cases were not appropriate. We fought them at the time, and it was ultimately signed in. And some of these people, these are largely people that the Democrats want. Many of them will be fired.
Russell Vogt said the reduction.
So what is considered a Democrat-oriented job? That's the real question. I got to find that out. I don't know what a Democrat-oriented job is, so let's figure out what that is.
Russell.
Let's see. What are Democrat-oriented jobs for the government shutdown? Because I'm curious. If that's what he's saying, let's narrow it down and see what are Democrat-oriented jobs. I just don't know. I really don't. Who are essential employees? Okay, essential employees, no. But essential employees still ain't getting paid though. So essential employees are going to be public servants like inpatient emergency medical aid or care, air traffic control, law enforcement, border security, disaster aid, and power grid maintenance. Jesus. Pay the power grid people. Don't let the power grid go. Don't let the power grid people go. Please, no. All right, so what is the Democrats' demand to reopen it? Let's see. But what are Democrat-oriented jobs? I mean, the only thing I can think of is DEI, but I want a list of like what are Democrat-oriented jobs. Let's see. You know what? Let me take out the government shutdown part. Let's see if it brings up something. Let's see right here. All right, so Democrats versus Republican occupations. Oh, this might help. No, not really. I've never seen this before. Check this out. I found this by accident. Democrat versus Republican occupations. So you got environmentalist, oil worker, flight attendant, pilot, bartender, beer wholesaler. Oh wow, librarian, logger, taxi driver, truck driver, innkeeper, motel owner. Oh, this will be actually something good to look at for, oh, wow. Chairman, chairwoman. Chairman is Republican, chairwoman is Democratic. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. Oh, that's funny. All right, so a urologist is Republican, a pediatrician would be Democratic, a sculptor is Democratic, a plastic surgeon is Republican, floral designer is a Democratic. Yeah, a floral designer is Democratic up here. A exterminator is Republican. A yoga instructor is Democratic. A car salesman is Republican. An architect is Democratic, but a home builder is. This is interesting when you look at this. This is pretty freaking hilarious. Oh my God! An Episcopal priest is Democratic, but a Catholic priest is Republican. I would just say go read the damn book for yourself and quit letting these people make your decisions for you. Carpenter is Democratic, but a plumber is Republican. Interesting. A midwife is Democratic, but a surgeon. Okay, I guess to have a baby, it's not surgery. I guess a C-section would be considered surgery, right? I guess a C-section. All right. Well, midwife is the way to go if you're having babies. Like, screw the damn surgery. Park ranger is Democratic, sheriff is Republican, a gardener is Democratic, but a farmer is Republican, chef is Democratic, but a cattle feeder, okay. Comedian is Democratic, but a talk show host is Republican. All right. Union organizer is Democratic, but a business owner is Republican. Hello, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. All right. Interesting. And when I say Democratic or Republican, I don't mean one or the other. I mean predominantly. All right. Environmental scientist, petroleum geologist, psychiatrist, neurosurgeon. Which way does your occupation lean? All right, this is interesting. I did not know this was a thing. Huh. Military. Look at that. Military. Oh man, they almost got it to 50-50. I'm pretty sure by the time Trump leaves, this thing gonna have more. It's gonna have more red on it than blue. They gonna take a lot of this blue off after Trump get done out that office. Cause yeah, for sure. This is interesting. So a lot of this stuff is, and like a lot. This is, All right, I was looking for something, but I done got lost and sidetracked. I've never seen that before. I'm gonna have to save this. Let me save that. That's actually something good to have. That's actually good to know because when you want to look at how which way the world is leaning, it's actually a good thing to look at. I think that's actually a good thing to kind of pay attention to see which way the world is going. If you kind of want to know how things are going. Okay, here we go. Somebody in Reddit may have it. Here's the list of occupations by political leaning. Are they any of the stick outs and surprise to you? Okay. Well, what do you have right here? Let's see what we got. So it's about the same thing. Somebody had the same thing. Data scientist is Democratic. Huh. High school teachers are Democratic. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Look at this. Oh man. All right. Let's take a look at this. This is This is hella interesting. I was not prepared to look at this. This is interesting. Very Republican and very Democratic jobs. A union organizer is very Democratic. A missionary is very Republican. So we have a data scientist is very Democratic. A logger. I don't know what a logger is. What is a logger? I guess what is a logger opposed to a data scientist? Logger job. What is a logger? What do loggers do? I mean, I have an idea. Let's see. Average age for a logging job. Loggers. Let's see. What is a logger? What is a logger? No, see, no. Logger. How do you compare data science? I'm thinking of like wood when I think logger, but I mean, if you're comparing it to data scientists, or maybe it's not comparing it to anything. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe a logger is actually a wood person. I'm just overthinking it, trying to compare the two to be the same as each other. Environmentalist is Democratic. Trucker is Republican. Social workers Democratic. Roofer, Mason. Okay, then high school teacher is going to be highly Democratic. A programmer is Democratic. Huh, a cook is Democratic. Interesting. Police officers Republican. Orthodontists are going to be more Democratic. These are really interesting. Bond trader is going to be Republican. So these are interesting. This may help you understand whenever, we see jobs getting pushed, that this might help us understand which way the country is going, I guess. Who knows which way people think when they're in these professions. So if you're going into computer programming, you might be around a bunch of Democratic people. If you go into masonry, you might be around more Republican thinking people. If you go into roofing, you might be around more Republican thinking people. I don't know, I'm just saying. Well, I mean, probably not. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, all right, this is interesting to see. Let me get off this. This has really got my mind racing, because I never knew that existed. But I forgot what I was looking into. But government shutdown is continuing, and hopefully pretty soon it goes away. So in the meantime, yeah, there's that. All right, getting back to the show. What we were supposed to be talking about is we're going to move on to private equity. That's what this is about. Yes, private equity. Let's get back onto the show and get what we were supposed to be talking about. Water. Much needed. All right, so private equity. We need to learn about what private equity is. It's a very, very important thing that is going on in today's world, and it's taken over like you wouldn't believe. It's always been around, but now today it's changing the way that how do I say this? It's changing the way our shopping is. Our brick and mortar stores are, hell, if we're going to have any in the future at this point. It's changing everything with how we shop, and anything that has to do with brick and mortar. All that is changing by the wayside due to private equity. And we'll go into more detail exactly. But for those who don't know what private equity is, I'll explain it right here. We'll do some reading, because I know you don't like to read, and that's what I'm here for, to read for you dummies who don't enjoy reading. So, PE, private equity. Private equity is stock in a private company that does not offer stocks to the general public. Instead, it offers specialized investment funds and limited partnerships that take an active role in managing and structuring the companies. In casual usage, private equity can refer to these investment firms rather than the companies in which they invest. Private equity capital is invested into a target company either by an investment management company, a venture capital fund, or an angel investor. Each category of investor has specific financial goals, management preferences, and investment strategies for profiting from their investments. Private equity can provide working capital to finance the target company's expansion, including the development of new products and services, operational restructuring, management changes, and shifts in ownership and control. All right, one thing I want you to pay attention to right here. The second paragraph is very important. Private equity capital is invested into a target company. Okay, so let me see. Target company. We'll say Sears. Sears went out of business. Toys R Us went out of business. All right, cool. So for those of you who don't know, Sears and Toys R Us were stores that went out of business. If you don't know, just type it in, you'll find out. Toys R Us was a toy store. Sears was I don't know, what was Sears? Sears was like an all-around store where you can get, I don't know. I mean, I know what to get if I was shopping. You get clothes. Sears was like another Walmart without the grocery side. Is that a good way to say it? I don't know. No, Walmart has too much stuff in it. I don't know. Sears was a good store. Anyway. So right here, private equity capital is invested into a target company. So let's say the target company is, we'll say Sears, all right? And either by an investment management company, which is a private equity firm, a venture capital fund, or an angel investor. I'm going to assume an angel investor is a person who's got a hell of a lot of money. All right, so each category of investors has a specific financial goal. So first you have a target company. So you take the target company, which in this case we're going to say is Sears, and they're going to do private equity capital. Now they're going to get the private equity capital from who? Either an investment management company, which is a private equity firm, a venture capital fund, or an angel investor. And when they get capital from one of these peeps, then each of the investors has a specific financial goal in mind, or management preferences and investment strategies for making money from their investments. So they can do one of three things. They can tell you what their certain financial goals are. They can tell you how to manage the business, how they prefer to manage the business, and how they basically choose to profit from their investments by investment strategies. Private equity can provide working capital to finance a target company's expansion. So they can provide working capital if they want to finance Sears expansion. Remember, the target company is Sears. All right. This includes the development of new products at Sears, operational restructuring, management changes, and shifts in ownership and control. All right. Keep this in mind. All right, we're gonna watch some short clips of some videos, and they're gonna go in and explain how private equity works, give you a better, broader understanding, so you can kind of see it in action. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get this first video set up. And oh, that's not the video. What the hell is that? All right, so we have this first video. This is an older video from 2009. It's called Flipped. And we're going to see exactly how private equity works. So let's go ahead and say, you know what, let me refresh this real quick before we start. But just keep in mind on what I just explained to you and what I read to you. Okay, you get a target company, all right, and you got to raise private equity capital. You get your private equity capital from three different ways, okay? Three different investors, okay? So you have your three different investors. You can get it from a private equity firm, you can get it from a venture capital fund, or an angel investor, which is just like one big rich mofo, okay? And then at that point, whoever the investor is, they got the say so on how they're going to get their investment back. So they can do it multiple ways. They can, shift the ownership. They can change the management structure. They can change the operating. They can restructure the operation, or they can put new products and services. There's different ways you can go about this. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right. And there's other ways you could do it, but we're going to watch this video, or a piece of this video, to get you a better understanding. So here we go. Let's go ahead and let this video go. And How private equity deal makers can win while their companies lose. That's what I want you to pay attention to. That's going to be the main part of this right here. That's the main point. Okay? Pay attention to that part.
I said, goddamn. Goddamn.
Here we go.
What surprised me most about this story is the degree to which private equity touches our lives in ways that we're not aware of.
You know, a shopper at Albertsons probably doesn't know that it's private equity owned, or someone who eats at Outback Steakhouse would have no idea. There's really no way to tell.
Outside of financial circles, many people don't realize the scope and influence of the private equity industry.
The number of brands is astonishing, and what most people don't realize is we, all of us, in one way or another, actually are invested in many private equity deals.
When I was in business school, there was nothing sexier in this entire world than private equity. It's exactly where you went if you wanted to one day own an island. And one of my classmates just bought an island.
But what is private equity? How does it work? And what happens to the businesses that fall under its control? Businesses like the Simmons Bedding Company, which has recently announced it's filing for bankruptcy and will emerge with yet another private equity owner.
I think the best way to think about private equity is to think of somebody buying a home, trying to fix it up, and then selling it. The only distinction is that typically the buyer is often playing with other people's money.
Money that could come from your pension.
Okay, so trying to fix it up, but the buyer is playing with other people's money. Okay, so where do we see that at? All right, let's go back to here. Here we go. So let's go ahead and explain this down. So you have private equity capital is invested into a target company, either by an either by a private equity firm, venture capital firm, or an angel investor. All right. So first, you got the company that you want to buy. Then you're like, all right, cool. Where are we going to get this money from? Then once you get the money, each category investor has specific financial goals. So then you're like, cool. We found this company. All right. We looked at it. What do you want to do? What are your financial goals? Do you want to manage? Do you want management preferences, investment strategies for profiting from your investments? Do you want, do you want to expand the company? Do you want development of new products and services? Do you want operational restructuring, which I think that's going to be the big one? Management changes, shift in ownerships and control. Like, how do you want to? So they have to get their money back from whatever company that they get. So look at it like this, because remember the premise of this video that we just looked at, when it started out, it said how to, where is it? The very beginning of the video, it said, let me show you what it said. The very beginning of the video, it basically expressed how, God dang it, where is it? Where is it? Right here. It says how private equity deal makers can win while their companies lose. This was explained in the movie, and I really wish I could find that movie. But how you can win. So, for example, when you see a company going down, right, you can probably look around at a company that's going down. So, for example, Sears. Sears sold everything. They had an electronics department. They had a clothing department. They had a bedding department where they sold like beds and stuff like that. I believe they had that. They also had like lawn care and tools and stuff like that department. They had different departments. A business starts going under. You can find out how much the business is worth, because they're going under anyway. So you're like, well, how much is this place? You're like, well, let's figure out how much this thing costs. And then you look at all the stuff in there that's in the building. All the equipment, all the items, all the things for the customers, everything, the cash register, everything you can sell. Would you if you had Sears and you bought the company and then you have these investors, okay, they want their money back. That's the bottom line. Think that first. They want their money back. So here's one way that they would get their money back. If you can make money by making the company lose, you could just go in, get the brick and mortar, get a good deal on it, but probably figure out first how much is everything worth inside. You know what I mean? Like, how much is all this stuff worth inside first? Like, how much is all of your inventory? You just backdoor. If you can get a better deal on buying this business and then realizing that the inventory within the company is worth more than what you bought it for, then you can basically make out like a bandit if you just sell everything inside of the building and then just let it go to crap. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if that store is around anymore, because guess what you can do? Go on to Amazon or go on to Sears.com and you can still buy stuff because you'll still get the same products from Sears, just not at a brick and mortar store anymore. Now you just got this big building that's there and it can be used for something else. You know what I mean? But let's continue with a little bit more of this video, then we're gonna wrap it up. So let's see here.
That could come from your pension fund, your insurance.
Is that typically the buyer is often playing with other people's money.
Money that could come from your pension fund, your insurance company, a college endowment, or large charity.
So let's say, for instance, that you have a company that's been owned by one family for 60 years, and the president is the grandfather, and the vice president is his son, and you've got 7 family members working in the accounting office. None of them ever went to business school. They have no idea what they're doing, and they have 0 debt. And you come in and you say, look, I'm going to buy you guys up for a couple $1 million. And they say, a couple $1 million? It would take us 5 years to earn a couple $1 million. We'll do it right now. So and not only that, but we don't have to deal with running a company anymore. So you buy it for a couple $1 million. The first thing you do is you go and you borrow as much money as humanly possible. You leverage, which means borrowing against something, every piece of machinery in the joint. And then you take all of that money and you use it to expand. You go into new markets. You go to China. You buy new plants. You hire a whole bunch of MBAs. You fire half of them because they don't know what they're doing. You get McKinsey to come in and do this big study. And actually this works. 5 years later, you have a company that cost you a couple $1 million to buy. Now you've expanded all over the world. And if the market's going up and you called things right, you can turn around and you can go public with it. And once you sell shares to the public, you get to take all of those proceeds. Or you exit some other way by selling the company or something else.
These deals really assume that a company...
Or you exit some other way by selling the company, or you can just let it go down. You can let it tank and, sell everything. But he used was it a real estate company? I forgot. It was a family-owned business, or was it a family-owned real estate business? I forget what it was, but whatever business he used. But leverage that money from that business and then opened up a bunch of other businesses around. And if the market's doing good, then you're going to make a whole lot of money with all of these businesses that are going up. Then you just take the profits off the top. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, you could just let everything just go to hell and just let it all crash and burn. But it depends on what kind of company you buy. Like I said, Sears or Toys R Us or something like that. You go in, buy the company, fire half the people, and then turn around and just start selling stuff in the company and just basically liquidating everything and taking the money and letting the business go down. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, somebody comes in, finds the company, and then says, hey, look, I see we can make money off of this. It's really not complicated. It's not a complicated situation. You just know somebody who has so much money that they don't know what to do with it. And you're just like, hey, I can make you some money by making me some money. Here's what I found. And then you show them like, look, we can get this business. Then we can take this business, leverage it, and then we can open up these businesses over here and, prove that the businesses that you're going to open are going to make a lot of money, or buy this business and be like, look, we can just let this business go down and sell everything in the business, let it go, let it go to waste, just let it completely burn to the ground. And then we'll just turn around and sell everything in it and just make the money. But you're getting rid of people's jobs when you do it that way. Which what I'm saying is that's going to happen a lot more now, because we're switching over to a cash. That's a way to get us over to a cashless society, and that's a way to keep everybody, out of brick and mortars and stay buying online. So everything is changing to the internet, and then all these brick and mortar stores are gone. But the question is, the buildings don't go away. So what do the buildings turn into in the end game? What do these buildings turn into? Because if you watch movies, these buildings end up turning into like camps and like some really grimy situations, or like jail cells or prisons, you know what I mean, within the city. And that's like, that ain't nowhere nobody want to be for sure. But let's watch a little bit more of this and let's see what this guy has to say. So here we go.
Selling the company or something else.
These deals really assume that a company's revenues are going to go up because these are booming times, and there will be more than enough money for everybody, including paying down this debt. This is not the situation today.
Simmons is a great American mattress company. It's been around for over a century. Its products and brands are ones that we use every single day. It was immortalized in a Cole Porter song.
See, so one thing you have to pay attention to is economic cycles. You know what I mean? Economic cycles. Like, this was in 2009. So when he said that, that's not what this is like today. That means they were in a down economic cycle at that time. When things are going up, you can get a company, buy people out of their company when things are going up. And then you leverage that, and then they turn around and buy out your company, but then leverage the money that your company's making. That makes sense. Leverage the money that your company is making, and then turn around. They can open up a bunch of other businesses with that money that they leverage, because they know that off of the 5 or 10 million that they're able to leverage, they can open other businesses that are going to probably generate 20, 30, 40 million and just take all the profits off the top of that when the market's doing good. When it's doing bad, though, that can change. So let's see what happens if economy is doing bad. What different angles will private equities take in a down economy?
Its advertisements included people like Eleanor Roosevelt. It's a big brand, it's an iconic brand, it's an American brand, and it's a brand that's now in trouble.
In a Wall Street version of Flip This House, Simmons has been bought and sold by 5 different private equity firms, each looking to make a profit, and is about to be sold again.
The private equity, their goal is to make money, clearly, for themselves and also for their investors, which are pension funds and endowments all over the country. For the company itself, its goal is to survive, to thrive, to become operationally better, to become financially stronger. Sometimes what you can see in these deals, though, is those goals aren't necessarily compatible.
It's normal for a private equity firm to increase the amount of debt on a company. Some debt is almost always used by private equity investors when they buy a company in the first place. But for Simmons, each time it was taken over by a private equity firm, the amount of debt on the company doubled.
So the private equity company that owned it has made a huge profit on its initial investment, but that profit translated into debt for the company over and over and over.
Its fifth owner, Thomas H. Lee Partners, took out debt not just to invest in Simmons, but also to pay itself a dividend. It's leaving the company with a total of $1.3 billion in debt.
And that might very well pay off for the employees and for the private equity owners and for everyone else. But it does expose the employee to more risk, because there is now a new chance that your company's going to go bankrupt.
So the more debt that they put in, they have more money to use for other things. But the question is like, when does that stop? You know what I mean? Like, when does that, because they sold it 5 times already, and the debt keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So that means you got, more money to play with, more money to do things with, you know what I mean? And they turned around and made dividends off of it. But at the end of the day, when the company goes bankrupt, the regular people lose jobs while the big private equity and investment firms make out like a bandit. So the little man loses and the rich get richer, Because now the little person's going to go around looking for a job, but the rich people, like, we just milked that turnip for all the blood that it had in it. You know what I mean? We sucked that turnip dry. All the water and whatever it had in it is done. We don't need that one. So then that business crashes. But like nowadays, you can just turn around and it doesn't matter if the business goes. They don't care about your job, because now it's like, well, you can just go on Amazon and buy the product. The you know, the bed is probably sitting in a warehouse somewhere. You can get the bed from a warehouse. You don't need to go and test the bed out anymore. So that's the switch that we're having. That's the switch that's going on now. And the fact that they were able to drive that thing up from, what was it, like 160 something million to all the way to 1.3 billion in debt by just turning over and selling it again and again and again and again. You know what I mean? Just kept making money off of it again and again and again for like, what was that, 10 or 15 years? And they're just driving the debt up. At some point, it's going to go bankrupt. But that's not the point. The point is to make money off of it, and the jobs that it provides, could care less about. But let's finish this up. There's a little bit left.
Employees, like these, who used to work at a Simmons plant near Atlanta, may not even know their company is being run by a private equity firm. They may not know that the new owners are looking to cut costs, which can mean plant closings, benefit cuts, and layoffs.
We're all from Simmons, this group sitting at this table here. We got 22 plus years working at Simmons Company.
Every time a new owner come in, looked like the company went backwards to me.
The pressure to produce became stronger, and I believe that was due to the fact of some cutbacks.
By cutting out people's job, it put more pressure and stress on the person that was there.
A lot of employees that have lost their job attribute.
So every time they cut people's jobs, where do you think that extra money allocated to? The people at the top. It's like, cool, we got to cut some jobs because we have to make a return on our investment. So now you see there's two different people. You got the workers and you got the private equity firms. They're just taking jobs and turning them over and just making money. And as people lose their jobs, it's like they're like, oh well, you know, we made our money up here. No, the investor bought the company. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 investors bought the company. They bled that turnip dry, and they got rid of it. And while the workers are in there just working and slaving away and having to find a new job, they're just walking into another door that potentially at some point might become another stomping grounds for a private investor to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And as you can see, it's two different worlds that's being lived. The workers and the investors. And I think that's why, I know that's why Robert Kiyosaki, I believe it was him, the 4-quadrant thing, you want to be on the investor side of the quadrant. You don't want to be on, the employee side or the self-employed side. You want to be on the investment side. Because I think it was like employee, self-employed, business, and investor. Like, you want to get to that investment as quick as whatever by any means necessary that you can. You want to get there. That's what you want to be into, because stuff like this happens. And once you see that this is a thing that goes on, then you understand, like, don't nobody care if you have a job. Like, don't nobody care. There's money to be made. And if you happen to be at a place that go bankrupt in the meantime while we're bleeding these places dry, so be it. And there's only certain companies that will stay standing in the long run. But stuff like, like this mattress place that they had, it's like, nah, we can get rid of those. And now everything is going online. You can buy stuff online. Doesn't matter. Just buy it off Amazon. We don't need the brick and mortar anymore. You don't need the building anymore. So your job is obsolete. It's unnecessary. It's not needed. And who cares? You know what I mean? Like, they got their money on their investment. Who cares about your job? That's how they're looking at it. But let's watch a little bit more, then we'll wrap this up.
Attribute the job loss to the decline in the mattress industry. I think a lot of them believe that the industry's sales are down, which is true. But I don't think a lot of them understand how much debt this company has on its balance sheet and how that's actually a much more of a driving factor right now to what's happening at this company rather than anything that's happening with the economy.
The company's debt wasn't the only thing that former Simmons factory workers did not understand.
Had you guys ever heard of Thomas H. Lee before they bought the company?
No, I still don't know it. Still don't know it. Thomas H. Lee. Where you from? Out of New York?
That's who bought it, Thomas H. That's who bought the company now, right? Thomas H. Lee. Did he?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
September 18th, 2008. As workers are...
So these people work at a company and then don't even know who the person is that buys out their company. Like, you don't even know who you're working for anymore. You just work at a company, you have no idea who you're working for. They'll just sell it right under your nose. And you just sitting there like how they show 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you're just sitting there. You know, that's what it is. And if your job gets lost in the process, you've been there for 40, 50, 60 years slaved away. Sorry. You know, it is what it is.
Arrived for the day shift, they were called into a meeting. Due to a drop in sales, they were told the plant would be closed permanently. They were not allowed to return to the shop floor.
And they come out and do it like they did, it could have been they could have did a better way, I think.
It really was a hostile ending. I mean, anytime you close the plant and you bring police to the plant, I mean, they brought in police like we're going to tear the place up. I think they set the plant because we were unionized. I think we were unionized and they they paid people in our plant more than they paid people in the non-union plants.
In a press release issued at the time, Simmons said, "The decision to close our Atlanta manufacturing facility is a very difficult one for us because of its impact on loyal Simmons associates. Due to weaker than expected business conditions, we simply could not justify maintaining 2 manufacturing plants in the state of Georgia."
See, and that's basically what it boils down to when it's all said and done. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. You know, the private equities, they coming in, they turning over the business, and your job is unnecessary. You're just a casualty of investors. You're just a casualty of economic war. That's all it is. They just like, hey, we gotta get paid. We're doing our investing. We finna flip this thing, bleed this turnip dry. You know, this debt on this company gonna be so dang high that at the end of the day, if it goes bankrupt, who cares? Who cares? We got our money. You know what I mean? And they'll give them some kind of poor excuse as to why the company, fell out. Or maybe, it's not even a poor excuse. Maybe it's true. Like, the products that you are selling ain't covering this high debt that this company has. But at the end of the day, the little man always, pulls the smallest straw. The worker suffers the brunt of the situation. There's just how that pans out. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's why leaning towards becoming an entrepreneur and trying to find your own way and do your own thing to make your own way, whether you can create a job or have a skill that you can monetize over the internet or something is prominent. You have to do that. You have to become some kind of entrepreneur because that's what the tax bills favor. The tax bills favor entrepreneurs. It does not favor workers or W-2 employees is what it'd be called. It doesn't favor that. That's not who it favors. It's not what it favors. It favors people who start businesses. So, private equities are firms. They're businesses. They're corporations. That's who it favors. It's in favor for people who do things like this. Regardless of how you feel about it, you call it wrong, you say it's bad, whatever, it doesn't matter. The reality is the W-2 employee, that's the one that gets shitted on. That's who catches the brunt of the situation. We're watching the government shutdown right now. Who is catching wreck? Who's catching wreck right now? I mean, because the politicians still getting paid. They still getting their money. You can say what you want to say, hey, but they're W-2 employee workers too. True, but they also get insider trading tips and they're able to run the stock market up like crazy. So that's what it is. You know, understanding private equity is extremely important, especially in today's world that we live in. Because at some point, we're not going to have any more brick and mortar stores to go to, you know, to buy fast food and to buy clothes and to buy groceries and things like that. Like, we're slowly going away from that, because once society becomes cashless, the hell you need to go to a store for? We're almost there already, but you know, I think the only reason why we have cash around is probably the immigrants might be the only thing helping us keep cash around. Or migrants, immigrants, whatever you want to call it. They're like the only ones helping us keep cash alive. That's really it. That's really it. That's the only thing that's helping us keep cash alive. So that's the main thing that you have to pay attention to, for sure, is how private equities run business. If they run business that way, then if this is how they run business, then you need to understand, like, you're part of the casualty of the war. You need to find a way to pivot and move differently. Edward Benjamin. Edward, I'm gonna call you Edward. Let's see. You're looking at me on Kick. Right now, I'm also on YouTube and Twitch and Rumble. So on Kick, I don't think I have panels set up on Kick. On Twitch, I do. And on YouTube, if you go to my YouTube channel, DnL&x Fitness, you'll also see my link tree where I have all my stuff as well, if you're trying to find all that. But on Kick, I don't have it set up over there. But if you're on Twitch or YouTube, preferably YouTube, you'll be able to see everything over there. So yeah, so let's watch one more little quick thing about private equities real quick. Matter of fact, before we do go to that, let me actually pull up the top private equity firms as of right now. And even these numbers might not be 100% accurate. But let's take a look at some of the top private equity firms. So here we go. All right, so some of the biggest private equity firms we got right here. Starting off with numero uno, we got BlackRock. And this is allegedly, you know what I mean? These are the ones they got on the books. You know, never know who they don't got on the books. We got BlackRock. Assets under management, AUM. That's what that stands for. AUM stands for assets under management, 8.2 trillion. Now, I just looked this up on Wikipedia, and they up to 12. They're already up to 12, so who knows? Oh, right here. Let's see. That being said, BlackRock has demonstrated resilience and adaptability, reaching a new record of $641 billion in client cash in 2024 and entering into 2025 with 11.5 trillion, and there it is, assets under management. So this further reaffirms that BlackRock's dominance in the industry of asset management and financial services. So yeah, okay, cool. So they do have it about up to date. Cool. So there's BlackRock right there. For the first one, we go down. Blackstone, assets under management, 1.1 trillion. So this is another $1 trillion company right here. Let's see. So it's a private investment firm with assets under management over 100 billion at the end of 2024, with 1 trillion assets under management, 85 portfolio companies. Blackstone is a global player across diverse industries. It's got Apollo Global Management. They got 600 billion assets under management, so they're doing good. We got KKR with 550 billion assets under management. Now let's see if their number changed as time went on. No, they didn't change anything. We got, was it Carlyle Group, 420 billion assets under management. So you see, there's private equity firms to make these things happen with. You know what I mean? You can for sure find companies that are private equities that are doing numbers like crazy. And then assets under management, that could just be like their real estate portfolio might be insane. You know what I mean? Like they probably own like 10% of America as far as real estate and land goes. On top of, you know, the businesses that they have doing private equity deals with. So just looking at some of these, was it CVC Capital Partners? They got 180 billion assets under management. TPG, 160 billion assets under management. We got Thoma Bravo, number 8, 130 assets under management. Good my Lord. EQT. Jesus, why was that so hard for me to say? And then the last one I'm going to look at is Insight Partners, 110 billion. So there's a bunch of private equity firms out there, man. And, you know, they're doing numbers. And at the end of the day, the person who gets hurt is the little man. And I always wonder if that happened with my dad's company, because my dad worked at a place for 40 years and it ended up getting closed down randomly out of nowhere. You know what? Maybe I should look it up. I'm kind of curious. Let's see. But it actually closed down like randomly out of nowhere. And I'm like looking into this now. I'm kind of curious if that's part of the reason why it got shut down. Like, did it just shut down because of a private equity that was happening in the background, or what? Or was it just, you know, time to move on, or what is the situation? It's really interesting because it was what is it, since 1929? It says right here. So I wonder if it closed down just the one in a certain city, or if a bunch of them closed down all around. And it's not made. Let's see here. Remains defendant. So no partnership to produce that stuff through before. Okay. So yeah, I don't see anything in, let's see, entered bankruptcy. Okay. Okay, so they had an asbestos issue. I didn't know that. They had an asbestos issue. Wow. And you won't even know all this stuff is going on. You wouldn't even know all this stuff is going on at all in the background. But then again, for its illegal use in competing binding places on foreign places, like non-binding places. Wow, I didn't know they had all this going on. This is crazy. So they have a bunch of them across the world. But I wonder if, just like I said, one shut down in just one place, or is this something that just happened all over? So, yeah. Let's see, the changes trade name in 2005. Located in Toledo, Ohio. All right. Well, that's interesting. Okay. All right. I was kind of wondering what that was. Made its first bottle making machine 6 years later. All right. So it was open for a long time. But yeah, so just learning about private equities is very, 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 very important, because in today's world, it's operating to a point where it can take out all of brick and mortar. But let's watch this quick video right here real quick and get another crash course. So here we go. Just a little short snippet.
Hotel and Ancestry.com have in common? Well, they're all owned by the same company, Blackstone, the biggest private equity firm in the world. Private equity is one of the most powerful forces in finance, yet most people don't fully understand how it works. You see, any kind of company needs money to grow fast, and there are two ways for them to get that money. First, they could sell shares to the public. That's you and me. Second, they could sell pieces of the company to private investors. That's private equity. And there's more to this. When a private equity firm buys a company, they've got no intention of holding on to it and pocketing the profits. Instead, they buy it with the intention to sell it as soon as it makes sense. So, what exactly is private equity? Where did it come from? And how are people getting so rich from it? Well, let's dive in.
We were able. Let's dive in, but they over here won't let me click off the freaking video. So we're about to dive in and see exactly how all this stuff works. So we're gonna do a little quick crash course to look at it from a different perspective. So as you see, Blackstone, one of those companies own those 3 companies within itself. So that's one of their assets under management that we were looking at when we saw that big number next to it. So we're gonna see exactly how this whole thing works. As we just seen earlier, they can take one and start publicly trading the company, and if people start pouring money into it, then the stock goes up. Then they can be like, well, all right, cool, we just made good money out of it, let's sell this company to somebody else. Now the question is, do you get to see that happen on top, or is these deals being done in the background and you don't know that this company just bought this company under a private equity deal? I mean, it's in the name, private equity, so you don't know. But let's go ahead and dive in and see exactly how this works for sure.
Welcome to ALUX, the place for future billionaires to buy companies inspired. So private equity is a way for big investors to buy companies, make them better, and sell them for a profit. And these firms work with 4 key steps. Step 1 is to raise money from outside investors and put it into a special fund. Step 2 is to use that fund to buy companies. And step 3, to make the companies profitable. Once they own the company, they'll go in and restructure it so they can increase profits. So they might bring in new leadership, lay off workers, open up new locations, or make the marketing and branding better. Sometimes these changes lead to huge success stories, and sometimes they backfire. And then there's step 4, sell them for a profit. After 5 or 10 years, the firm sells the company in one of 3 ways. Either through an IPO where it becomes publicly traded again, or they sell it to another company, or they sell to another private equity firm. If everything goes as planned, they sell it for much more than what they paid, and the firm and its investors make a massive profit. So private equity has been shaping all industries for over a century now, but it didn't start off with this 4-step strategy.
So the way she's making it seem like a very happy go tell good thing, but the video that we were watching previously, they were breaking down how private equities go whenever companies go bankrupt. When companies go bust, basically they were explaining like, look, this is how this works out when it doesn't work in a positive favor. This is how private equities work when the company loses, but the deal makers still get paid. So you lose your job, but on the top end, they still make out like a bandit. And I want to look at one more clip of this video to see if this guy actually breaks this down.
We will be exited out of all of these investments by year 10. Now, let's say that this guy has exited out of no investments, because the stock market is down, and because he can't find any buyers, and because it turns out it wasn't such a great deal in the first place and he overpaid. What he's going to do is he's going to say, look, as long as I can find a buyer who's willing to give me a price that isn't embarrassing, I'm going to get out of this deal, because then I can turn to my investors and say, look what a genius I am. I got us out of this deal. And by the way, I did it before year 10, which means that we all get to keep the money and I get my percentage that I am promised. So you have a whole bunch of guys sitting in sort of a daisy chain, and even though there isn't any economic value being created by handing companies around that daisy chain for the company itself, you're creating economic value for the professionals who are handing them around, because they get paid to basically do deals. That's what happens on Wall Street, is you get paid to do deals.
There's a big question mark over what value.
So hopefully we caught that from the beginning. Let him explain that one more time from the very beginning.
So why do companies just shift hands from one private equity group to the next private equity group to the next private equity group? One of the really big reasons why is because of how the private equity industry is structured and how private equity professionals, get compensated. So let's say I'm raising a private equity fund, the Charles Duhigg Fund, and I'm going to raise $1 billion. The way that I get paid is I get what's called 2 and 20 usually, which is 2% of the money that I have under management and 20% of the profits. But I only get that 2% once I've put the money to work. In fact, I only get the money once I've found a deal to put it into. Otherwise, it just stays with my investors in my investor's bank account. So let's say that I've promised everyone that I'm going to put all the money to work by year 4, and it's now year 3, and it's $1 billion fund, and I've only put $500 million. I've only invested $500 million. Now I've got a year to put $500 million to work. And what's more, if I don't do it within the next year, in some of the agreements I signed with my investors, they get to keep the money. They don't have to give it to me at all. So now I'm out there and I've got 12 months to put $500 million to work. It took me 3 years to put the other $500 million to work. I'm literally going to do any deal I possibly can. As long as it's not going to blow up in my face, I'm going to look like an idiot. If you bring me a deal and you tell me, look, the price we're selling it at, it's going to be the exact same price 3 years later, I'm still going to do that deal, because then I can go to my investors and I can say, look, I found a new deal. It's going to cost $300 million. Now I get 2% of fees on $300 million. I don't have to give the money back. Everything is happy. So the question then becomes, why does the guy on the other end of that deal do the deal with me? Why does he give me the company for $300 million? The reason is because he's in year 7 of his fund. Things are about to shut down in year 10. And what he promised everyone was, we will be exited out of all of these investments by year 10. Now, let's say that this guy has exited out of no investments because the stock market is down, and because he can't find any buyers, and because it turns out it wasn't such a great deal in the first place and he overpaid. What he's going to do is he's going to say, look, as long as I can find a buyer who's willing to give me a price that isn't embarrassing, I'm going to get out of this deal, because then I can turn to my investors and say, look what a genius I am. I got us out of this deal. And by the way, I did it before year 10, which means that we all get to keep the money and I get my percentage that I am promised. So you have a whole bunch of guys sitting in sort of a daisy chain, and even though there isn't any economic value being created by handing companies around that daisy chain for the company itself, you're creating economic value for the professionals who are handing them around, because they get paid to basically do deals. That's what happens on Wall Street, is you get paid to do deals.
Did you notice who he called the professionals? Did you notice who he called the professionals? Yeah, the people at the top who are screwing over the middleman on the bottom at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, the company's going to get sold and sold over and over, and the debt's going to raise and all this stuff. And at some point, the company's going to go bust or bankrupt, or people are going to keep losing their jobs while these people at the top are just brokering these deals left and right. But yeah, as you can see, ain't nobody thinking about you. It's about creating businesses and making money for more people at the top. That's all it's all. That's what it's all about. And that's where you want to be. That's where you try to get to. You try to stay focused on getting out of the employment quadrant, getting out of the self-employed quadrant, and getting over there to the business and investment quadrant. That's where you're trying to get to. That's where that's where it all is at the end of the day. And it's all business. It ain't nothing personal. That's how that works out. That's just what that is. Regardless of how you feel, your feelings don't matter. And to give a good understanding as to why you don't matter anymore, we got one more video that I found, and this guy's gonna break this down to a science. So let me go ahead and pull this one up for you once this ad goes away. He's gonna explain why you don't matter anymore, economically speaking, and he's gonna break this down to you to a science as to tell you why you don't matter. So let me find, where is it? Where's the part in this video I could actually start this out with? Maybe right here. I'm going to start right here. This is why you don't matter anymore. So let's see what he says.
With a lot of our assumptions. The first problem is what this impressive economic growth figure is actually based on. GDP. Late last week, the US shocked economists with a report that contained results they were not really expecting. The economy had grown at a shocking 3.8% pace in the second quarter, seemingly putting to rest all of the concerns that the naysayers had about a softening job market, trade wars, the cost of living, skyrocketing defaults, declining labor force participation, sector-wide crises, and slowing productivity. Sounds great, right? Well, as you might have already guessed, there is a lot to unpack from these numbers. GDP isn't a flawless measure, even in normal times. And I'm sure you have probably noticed there is a lot going on at the moment. But if you do what nobody else wants to do and actually read the data behind these figures, it tells 3 very interesting stories that challenges a lot of assumptions that we have about how our economy should work.
If you do what nobody else wants to do and read. Did you hear that? If you do what nobody else wants to do and read, just read. Nobody wants to read. We live in a world where nobody wants to read. Nobody reads. They listen to people on YouTube. They listen to people on social media shorts and clips. But nobody wants to read. And then the person that does read gets the accurate information and then can just ball it up and give you bullshit and you think he's a genius or she. Read is the key.
This goes well beyond just simply growing inequality. That's not exactly shocking news anymore. But if you are looking for a sign of just how healthy and balanced the current market is, a new report has revealed that there are now more private equity firms in America than there are McDonald's. And the reason is very simple. If all of these numbers needed a headline, it would probably be, "You don't matter anymore." Economically speaking, of course.
GDP report showing.
Hey. What I just taught you about private equity firms. There's more private equity firms than there are McDonald's. So therefore, what does that mean? If there's more private equity firms than there are McDonald's, we just saw how these private equity firms are ran. We just watched it. We just seen it. How they bleeding these turnips dry. At the bottom, who cares about you? Nobody. But these private equities are turning these businesses over, and they're going to keep turning them over until there's no more businesses, no more brick and mortars left. Because they don't need them no more. Brick and mortars are useless. You don't need them because you can get your stuff off the internet, off Amazon. You can get them off Amazon. So then what companies are going to be best to invest in? Think about that.
That the U.S. economy expanded at 3.8%, surpassing the forecast growth of 3.3%.
36% of consumers say they've had trouble paying in just the last week, so that is up 25% compared to the same time period a year ago.
So you have to go to your landlord and say, I don't know how I'm going to pay you. I've never had to do that.
Trillions of dollars are pouring into the United States for investment purposes.
The U.S. economy grew faster than expected between April and June.
So yeah, that wasn't a typo. There are now 19,000 private equity funds in the US and only 14,000 McDonald's locations. The statistic was originally highlighted by Elisa Wood, a partner at one of the biggest private equity firms in the world. Ironies aside though, the reason this is happening is because there is just more opportunity in serving investment products to a few thousand ultra high net worth individuals and institutions than there is in serving burgers to millions of everyday Americans.
There it is. There it is. That right there tells you everything you need to know. It's more profitable to serve money to a few thousand super wealthy people than it is to let me say it again. It's more profitable to serve and make money for a few thousand super wealthy individuals than it is to make burgers for millions of people across the world. Bruh. There it is. So in other words, your job don't matter at all. Ain't nobody gonna care. The few thousand at the top are so wealthy that it's more profitable to make a few thousand at the top than it is to serve burgers to millions. That should speak volumes. That should speak volumes. That should tell you everything you need to know. That right there. Hopefully you learned something in this economy segment of the show. Hopefully I taught you something that you didn't know, because private equity, if you can get over there, it's the way to go. But at the same time, a lot of people gonna suffer. It ain't gonna be pretty. It's gonna be painful to watch. It's gonna be painful to see. It's gonna be painful to go through. But it's more profitable to serve 1,000 people, super wealthy at the top, thousands of super wealthy at the top, than it is to serve burgers to millions. And there's more private equity firms than there are McDonald's. 19,000 private equities, 14,000 McDonald's. It's better to put a private equity company together and be like, hey, I got this deal I can brokerage for you and make money off of, and screw all the workers out of their jobs. It's more profitable to screw millions of people than it is to save them. Think about that. It's more profitable to screw, hell, billions of people at this point than it is to save them. That's where we're at. So Get your grind on. Stay focused. Do what you got to do. Make it happen. Screw what anybody says. Hopefully you learned something today on the economy segment of the show. Because that right there should told you everything that you needed to know. That should have told you everything that you needed to know. That was a hell of a truth bomb being laid on you, because it told a lot. It told a lot. It told a lot. It lets you know where we're headed in the future, where we're moving in the future. Where we're moving in the future, brick and mortars are going bye-bye. That means jobs are going to be obsolete. And right now, everybody's complaining about AI taking over jobs, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till the robots come out. If you think AI is taking over jobs now, just think about this. If you're complaining that AI is taking over jobs now, or that a few who know how to run AI is taking over the market for the many who can't run AI as efficiently or as skilled, wait till the robots come out. When the robots come out, then what? Then what? It's going to be over. The robots come out. And remember, the robots come out in many forms. There's humanoid robots. There's electrical vehicle robots. There's drone robots that fly. There's different kind of robots. You know what I mean? So if you look at it, and then these private equity firms are crashing all these brick and mortar buildings, bruh, like it's just everything is about money. And it's financial slavery that they try to put everybody under. But with that being said, we're going to slide on over to the AI segment of the show, because we got to look at some AI stuff real quick. So let me go ahead and change this banner off real quick, and we're going to slide on into the AI segment of the show. Here we go.
Welcome to the AI segment of the show.
Sheesh, that was a good looking woman. I pat myself on the back for that. You got on the blue too. Man, hold on. Let's see her one more time. Hold on.
Welcome to the AI segment of the show.
Sheesh. AI getting good, y'all. AI is getting really good, boy. AI is getting a little bit too dang good, I must say. I mean, I gotta say. Yes, sir. Speaking of AI getting too good, let's take a look at how good AI is getting, because every time I look up and turn around, it's like, I don't know what happened over a month or 2 months, but somebody hit that switch on AI, and it's like AI 3.0 just kicked in. You don't believe me? Let's take a look. Here we go. Let me change that banner real quick. Look at what AI can do now. Look at it. Look at this. Check this out. Here we go.
Darker than midnight, Grandma.
That's the point, baby. Halloween's all about a little fright with the sweet.
You sure know how to make scary look good.
And you know how to add just the right sparkle. Set those eyes right there.
This little nut right here, you just give it a quarter turn, nice and easy. Chain sits like that, float goes up. Now try the handle, okay?
It stopped!
That's how you want it, girl. Good as new. These roots run deep, but they're coming up.
You're faster than I ever was. My knees wouldn't let me get down there anymore.
That's why I'm here. You just sit back. We'll have this bed cleared before the sun dips.
Can't thank you enough, son.
You've got a steady hand. I haven't seen it this neat in years.
Gotta keep it in rhythm. Wishes like a little groove, you know?
They're dancing now. Thank you, Michael.
Anytime, Miss June. That's the last big clog up here.
You're faster than the rain, Michael. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, it's nothing. I like a clean gutter.
Well, my roof's gonna stay dry thanks to
Happy
you.
to help, ma'am. Ready for the next step. This fitting was just a little loose. I'm tightening it up now.
Is it gonna stop the leak?
Yeah, once I seal this last ring, you should be good as new. There we go. Give it a try.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You're making quick work of it, son.
I gotta keep it smooth, Mr. Harmon. Lawn deserves a little rhythm.
Well, it's the neatest it's looked in years. Thank you.
My pleasure. We'll have it shining in no time. It's all in the wrist. One more sweep, and the sun will dance on through.
Hey there. Looks like you're in a bit of a bind.
Yeah, the spare's ready. I just can't budge these nuts.
Mind if I give it a shot?
Please. I'd appreciate it.
All right, let's get you rolling again.
Pretty good at this.
The spare is rolling. I just need to help bust these nuts. They wrong for that. Now, I'll tell you right now, man. Now, if I was any of the Jackson family, I'd be suing the living hell out of somebody right now. Oh, yeah, I'd be suing the hell out of somebody right now. You're not finna use my family member for, no shits and giggles. Like, nah, bro, give me the money. I'm just wondering when AI gonna face these lawsuits, because there ain't no way you can sit here and just use somebody's likeness like this and just bank off of it. Like, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. But let's take a look at something else. Now, remember what I just said earlier. When AI is gonna be taking over jobs and stuff like that, just understand that it don't take very many people to do these videos. It's not hard to make these videos. You just gotta have money to do it. All it takes is money, and if you got the money to run the program and all your bills and stuff are taken care of, then you can make these generated videos all day long. It just takes money to do so. These are not hard, complicated things to do. They're not hard. It's not rocket science. These videos ain't hard to make. It's prompts on prompts. You know, you create prompts. You do one. You see if it works. You twig it. You make the prompt in ChatGPT and you twig that prompt, and you just keep going. And once you got time to dedicate into anything, you'll get it right. It's just that these tools, like this is Sora 2. It's a monthly subscription that costs money to use. You got the money to constantly use these, on top of being paid to take care of your, you know what I mean? Like, it's not hard to do. It just takes time. But let's continue and let's look at this. Just keep this in mind that a very few people can be just shooting these out to the rest of us. You know what I mean? Companies of a few thousand people or less could just be shooting all of these out to us. So why you have so many at the top versus billions at the bottom? It's going to be the way they're moving. It looks like it's going to be thousands to maybe millions at the top and billions at the bottom. If it is millions, it would be like, I don't know, maybe half a billion to a quarter million, maybe 100 million at the top, while the rest flounder at the bottom. But let's take a look at some more of these videos. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Check this out.
Boy, sure you ready for this smoke? I dropped 30 last match.
Brother, you've been camping rooftops all night. Don't play. Hush, hush. I'm lining up the shot, and... Oh, come on! Who in blazes is J-Dub Booth? Fella just one-tapped me with a bowl.
Boy, sure you ready for this smoke? I dropped 30 last match.
Brother, you've been camping rooftops all night. Don't play. Hush, hush. I'm lining up the shot, and... Oh, come on! Who in blazes is J-Dub Booth? Fella just one-tapped me with a bowl.
Boy, sure.
We got JFK, MLK, and A. Lincoln. Boy, oh boy. I mean, at what point does it stop? I mean, it seems like they're using everybody who is no longer alive. Because they do it in Fortnite too. You ever pay attention to that? They do it in Fortnite on like a character way. The kid Juice WRLD, the rapper Juice WRLD, that kid who passed away, they still have him in Fortnite all day long, but now they can turn around and make this a real looking thing with AI. So at some point, I'm thinking a lawsuit's finna get hit. I mean, nobody is spared when it comes to this AI, generative AI, which I would love to get into this because this looks fun to do. It looks fun to make. I'm just gonna be honest. It looks fun because you be creative all day long. Look how creative you can get. Look how far it goes. Bam. Check him out.
We're on the lake with the man himself. He's about to show y'all something wild.
Peace to you. Watch the water.
Look at that. It's changing, y'all. That's not a filter.
Toast for the world.
Bro, it's straight up wine. We're walking on live. I'm out here on the lake with the man himself. He's about to show y'all something wild.
Peace to you. Watch the water.
Look at that. It's changing, y'all. That's not a filter.
Toast for the world.
Bro, it's straight up wine. We're walking on live. I'm out here on the lake with the man himself. He's about to show y'all something wild.
Peace to you. Watch the water.
Look at that. It's changing, y'all. That's not a filter.
Toast for the world.
Bro, it's straight up wine. We're walking on live. I'm out here on the lake with the man himself.
Now, only thing is they not walking on, well, I guess you could say they walking on top of the water, because where they at, they shouldn't be standing on top of water unless it's a sandbar. That's what I always say. I say it's a sandbar. But yeah, as you can see, any and everybody can be used for AI.
I said, God damn.
Just look how far it goes. Look at this. And if you've ever read a Bible, they give a description of what Jesus looked like, and this is not the description they give. This is the total opposite. but I digress. So let me not go into that. But just to give you an understanding, and we got another one right here. Look at this. Check this out. Check out who we got next. Look who we got next. The man himself. Here we go.
500 miles at Daytona, and you brought it home first. How's that feel? Feels like I wrestled a hurricane, man, but it sure feels good. Car was steady, pit crew was lightning, and we kept it together when it counted. Fans are going wild. Got anything for them? Thank you. Elvis, 500 miles at Daytona, and you brought it home first. How's that feel? Feels like I wrestled a hurricane, man, but it sure feels good. Car was steady, pit crew was lightning, and we kept it together when it counted. Fans are going wild. Got anything for them? Thank you. Elvis 500 miles at Daytona, and you brought it home first. How's that feel? Feels like I wrestled a hurricane, man, but it sure feels good. Car was steady, pit crew was lightning, and we kept it together when it counted.
Yeah, and they getting these voices down just a little bit too good, I might say. These voices sounding a little bit too on point, because Michael Jackson's voice sounded really on point. And Elvis, I don't know how Elvis talked, sort of say. I've never like heard him in interviews or anything like that to be able to like say if they nailed his voice down, but hey, probably close enough. And as you can see, it don't take many people to do these. How many more? We got one more left. We got one final one. Here's the last one we're going to show you right here. So here's the last one. Once again, King of Pop himself. Let's check it out.
Just buy one, get one free on milk.
Right, but it expired last July. We're in October, ma'am.
Can't you just, override it?
I could, but then I get written up, and I like this job.
Hey, can I just...
Sir,
just buy one, get one free on milk.
right, but it expired last July. We're in October, ma'am.
Can't you just, override it?
I could, but then I get written up, and I like this job.
Hey, can I just...
They got Michael Jackson working at Walmart, bruh. Why you got MJ at Walmart? I mean, for real, MJ at Walmart. Like, come on, bruh. I would be suing the living hell out of whoever put my family member in generative AI. I would be suing the hell out of you. Like, you know what? Keep doing it, but every time my certain someone gets used, likeness, and image, I want a check every single time. Now, I'm curious if at some point are they going to start having like, I don't know, copyright laws or something like that that has to do with people being used in AI, or is everybody's image on AI allowed to be used without any, lawsuits? You know what I mean? Because whatever happened to, copyright or what's the other word I'm trying to say? What's the other one? You got copyright, plagiarism, all these different things or whatever you want to call it. Like whatever happened to that? Because AI is like destroying that right now. But if you ain't got the money to fight it, what you gonna do? You see? That's why everything is about money. If you ain't got money, what you gonna do? I mean, you can go in there and fight it yourself if you can. If you can file a lawsuit, you can. I mean, you can file a lawsuit. It's not hard to do, but then you got to be able to beat the attorney. You know what I mean? You got to be able to, weigh the storm, because courts don't work fast. It's a slow process. So what you gonna do? Let's go ahead and look at this one more time before we switch over. So here we go.
sir.
Just buy one, get one free on milk.
Right, but it expired last July. We're in October, ma'am.
Can't you just, override it?
I could, but then I get written up, and I like this job.
Hey, can I just... Sir.
Yeah, MJ liked the job. So yeah, it doesn't take many people to put this together. Doesn't take many people at all to put AI like this together. It just takes a few people to do this, to put it out to the masses of people. And as long as the masses of people are entertained, smiling, laughing, and kiki cackling, they're distracted. They're not focused on coming out of the financial slavery that is imminent and on the way. Hell, it's damn near already here. You know what I mean? So we're going to see the impact that AI will have on the job market, and we're going to let this guy talk about it. SAP CEO, I don't know what SAP stands for, SAP CEO, is going to tell us how big of an impact that AI is going to have on the job market. And we're going to let him go ahead and take this away. So here we go. Where is it? There it is. Let's let him take it away.
Be a tremendous impact. I mean, I would not go that far that you don't need any, workers anymore in financial accounting, or you don't need any more employees in HR payroll. But what it will do actually is, of course, you need, much less people to perform such jobs. And then vice versa, you probably should better invest into, hey, what are the people, the job profiles who can help my company to connect AI with my business? So when you are a manufacturer, you should always think about, hey, how can I use this technology, applying it to my business to make, my factory even more productive, to make my logistics smarter. So there will be new jobs coming. Vice versa, there will be, of course, an under-proportional need for other job profiles. So yes, the job market will change.
Do you think policymakers are underestimating the impact on the labour market?
Yeah. Not everyone needs to become, a data scientist. Not everyone needs to become a computer scientist. But even those jobs, in the different industries will be impacted, and their education really matters. There will.
Boy, oh boy, he laid it out. He laid it out on that one, boy. He straight up said it like, look, it's not going to be need for many people to have jobs anymore, and your education is going to mean everything. So if you ain't educated, then basically, in a nutshell, he going to look at you and say, hey,
FYM, fuck y'all motherfuckers,
Because we don't need everybody to be a data scientist. We don't need everybody to be a computer scientist. However, your education will be important, but we're just not going to need so many of you. So where do you think they're going to choose from? I mean, because right now everybody has a bachelor's and a master's allegedly. So therefore, where do you think they're going to choose from? The top pristine colleges who can afford their kids to go to brick and mortar schools. That's where they're probably going to take their pickings from. So therefore, the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Simple. That's really what it is. So you got to find your own way, make your own way, be your own man. And and it's not going to be very many people who are going to make it to the top. So here's my synopsis on that. You got very few people who are going to make it to the top. All right. You're going to have a few men that are going to make it to the top. And then you may have a bunch of beautiful women, but they still going to be beautifully broke as well, or not as well off. So a lot of men are going to have their pick. A few men are going to have their pick at a lot of women. And these women are going to have to share these men, whether they like it or not. Ain't nothing they can do about it. That or be lonely. Then the men are going to be in the same boat too, but the men are going to have to focus on becoming something because your purpose has been stolen from you. What's your purpose now? You have to invent that purpose. You have to create that purpose. Can't go to the job and have a purpose anymore because it's just becoming less and less and less and less and less. But let's let him run it through us one more time and let's see what he has to say. So here we go.
It will be a tremendous impact. I mean, I would not go that far that you don't need any, workers anymore in financial accounting, or you don't need any more employees in HR payroll. But what it will do actually is, of course, you need, much less.
Of course, you're still going to need people, but you're going to need much, much, much less people to do these jobs and roles. We don't need that many no more. You know what I mean? Like we needed, like back in the day, we need like 1,000 employees. Probably only need like 25 now, 50 at most. You know what I mean? Just so we don't stress out the 25, 50 at most, 100. Well, let me do percentages. Out of 1,000 people, we'll only need about 20% of those workers. So like 200. We'll just need much less. We ain't gonna need that many of y'all.
People to perform such jobs. And then vice versa, you probably should better invest into, hey, what are the people, the job profiles who can help my company to connect AI with my business?
So with those people, those 200 people, it's like, hey, with the 200 we got, how can y'all help me connect the company even better with, how can you help connect AI better with my business? Your remainder 200s, like, I already got rid of 800 of y'all. How can I make my margins even smaller out of you 200? How can I turn this 200 into 100? You don't say.
So when you are a manufacturer, you should always think about, hey, how can I use this technology, applying it to my business to make, my factory even more productive, to make my logistics smarter. So
what he's saying is to increase profits, if you didn't understand. It sounded good, make it more productive and to make logistics smarter. That increases profits. So therefore, yeah, some of y'all will still be needed, but I can cut that 200 down to 180, 175. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
There will be new jobs coming. Vice versa, there will be, of course, an underproportional need for other job profiles.
There's an underproportional need for other job profiles. Like we don't need that many people no more. Like we don't need an HR. We don't need a financial. We probably need financial and accounting, maybe one. But then if I can automate that to an AI agent, then all right, we don't need that anymore. You know what I mean? Like you could argue with the AI if you want to. That's not my problem. I could care less. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. If the AI makes a mistake, talk to the AI. Don't talk to me.
So yes, the job market will change.
Do you think policymakers are underestimating the impact on the labour market?
Yeah.
Do you think policymakers are under? Look at his face when he said that. It's like, yeah, they're royally underestimating how bad this is about to be. And by the way, if you didn't know, this is what he's saying in a nutshell.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the way he looking at him, he like, after what I just told you, sir, like, come on now.
He didn't say that. Tell me he didn't just say that.
Are you not listening to me? Like, do you not hear what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, like, we not gonna need that many people, bruh. Like, we finna get rid of people. What the hell we need people for? We got AI, robots, and agents. We ain't got to worry about any harassments of any kind, calling in late, no sick leave. We ain't got to worry about none of that, bro. The ROI on this is finna be phenomenal. Like the return on the investment is finna be great. Like we about to make out like a bandit over here on this side. And guess what? Our heaven is going to be your hell. Oh yes. Yeah. Our heaven is going to be your hell. Bottom line. So I hope you enjoy the hell that you finna be put into, because it's gonna be heaven for somebody, and that's just the way they're navigating. That's the way things are going. Let's let them continue. There's only got a few seconds left.
Not everyone needs to become, a data scientist. Not everyone needs to become a computer scientist. But even those jobs, in the different industries will be impacted, and their education
really matters. Even though we don't need all you data scientists or computer scientists, I mean, it's going to change in some industries, but even there, education really matters. And when you think about education, what is education? When you think about hiring your education, what's the first thing you think of? Finances. You think of money. You're like, this is going to be expensive. And when you think about expensive nowadays, what's the first thing you think about when it comes to education? You think about student loan debt that people are in. They have turned student loan debt into child support. So you go into debt, you in debt. When you come out, you're not guaranteed education with the debt that you just put yourself into. So you're taking a risk, taking a gamble. But a lot of people are going to look at this gamble like the risk ain't worth the reward. But then what if the schooling you go to makes a difference on if your education pays off? It probably will. So if you can't go to a top pristine college, a prestige college at a top tier or something, then they're going to be like, well, I mean, we got a bunch of people with bachelors over here. We got a bunch of people with masters over here. What college did you go to? And if your college ain't a top college, they just going to be like, well, we don't want you. Better yet, we don't need anybody from any colleges that are probably rated this and under. So now you have a debt and there's nothing that you can do about it, that you have to pay off. But remember, if you're in debt to somebody, you're enslaved to them. That's Bible. Like whoever you're in debt to, you're enslaved to. Since you went on and got that education, you are now enslaved to whoever gave you that loan. And you keep playing with these people being in debt to them. They not playing. The cards are gonna come crashing down at some point. So getting out of debt is important. But don't play with these people when it comes to being in debt. 'Cause what's going to happen when they say, you know what? Since you can't pay that debt off and you believe you're going to die with that debt, we'll just pass it down to your family members. What happens when they start saying that? What if they say, well, just pass that debt on to your family members, relatives, kids? They gonna get that money back one way or another. And if not, they'll just trickle it on down and just enslave and enslave and enslave. So yeah, that's the impact. Let's take a look at this next guy. So this guy is going to talk about AI destroying jobs for Gen Z. So we had that first guy speak on the impact of the job market, and a lot of people not seeing that a lot less people will be needed for jobs. Well, let's let this guy break it down. He's going to speak on young people are more at risk of job automations. So we have people who are at risk of job by age. So 60 to 65 are at an 8%. 55 to 59 is at a 6%, but 20 to 24 are at a 16%. 25 to 29 are at a 9%. The people who are at least risk of job automations are between ages of 35 and 39. Then it goes up from there. For some reason, 45 to 49, it goes way up, then it drops back down, then it goes up. I don't understand why, but from 35 to 39 is the lowest for some reason. I can't figure that part out, but let's let this guy talk and let's see what he has to say.
Person. What the hell are you supposed to focus on? In a world of artificial intelligence where writers are being replaced, coders are being replaced, where you can now upload an Excel spreadsheet and get any chart, any analysis on it, right? These skilled jobs are going away. You could not have predicted this 1 year ago.
It's the first time in history nobody has any idea how the world would look like in 10 years.
Yeah.
Nobody has any idea how the world would look like when you grow up. Throughout history, it was never possible to predict the future.
That is a dang good point. Nobody can predict the future of what the world is going to be like. Because what this guy down here just said was, we didn't even know a year ago this was going to pan out the way it did. And now this guy up here is saying, we don't know what the world's going to look like in the next 5 or 10 years as far as the job situation goes. Like we can't, you like you can't look down at your kids, because if your kids say, hey, what you want to be when you grow up? It used to be, you know, I want to be, you know, and you would name what you wanted to be. Nowadays, you can't even guarantee what your kid want to be when they grow up. You kind of looking at them like, yeah. Like, I want to be an astronaut. They're like, yeah, about that. I want to be a police officer. I mean, you probably can, but about that. I want to be a firefighter. It's like, what is a firefighter going to look like in 10 years? Like, you don't know what the world's going to look like in 10 years at all. This is the first time. You can't look at your kids and they tell you what they want to be in 10 years. You can keep the hope alive, but the reality of it, it's like, you really don't know. At least you knew, you know. You knew at least when you were a kid. You say, hey, I want to be this in 10. I mean, even the Gen Zers now, even the Gen Zers now, when they were kids and they said, hey, in 10 years, like, how old is Gen Z? Like 25 or something like that? Like 25. Okay, so 10 years ago they were 15. So the year 2015, Gen Z was like, yeah, actually, no, let's go back to 20 years. So 20 years ago, 2005, a Gen Z are talking, oh, I want to be a firefighter when I grow up. I want to be I want to be whatever you want it to be when you grow up. You were like, okay, cool, go and pursue that. Okay, and then 2020 hit. And then next thing you know, the new normal kicked in. Then the pandemic happened. Then AI happened. Now you looking at them like, oh, man. Now you look at Gen Alpha, you don't know what the hell they can be when they grow up. The only for certain thing with the way the world is turning and what somebody can be when they grow up, and this is for the girls, guaranteed, you can be a prostitute for sure. That is probably the only thing you got left, is being a prostitute. That's a guaranteed for sure. And it sucks to say it like that, but that's a fact. That's the only thing guaranteed, and they're being groomed for it. The more empowerment, the more clothes come off. The more they say no to marriage, both sides, the more they have to have multiple partners instead of one. The harder the economy gets, the less women are, and the less men and women are gonna could commit to each other. The harder it is to get married, because women want the wedding. They don't want the marriage. They want the ceremony. And the ceremony ain't cheap, and there's very few women who will go about it that way. So, yeah, let's let him continue.
We live in the Middle Ages. Nobody knows. Maybe in 10 years, the Vikings will invade. The Mongols will invade. There'll be an epidemic. There'll be an earthquake. Who knows? But the basic structures of life will not change. Most people will still be peasants. Armies would fight on horseback with swords and bows and arrows and things like that. So you could learn a lot from the wisdom of your elders. They've been there before, and they knew what kind of basic skills you need to learn. Most people need to learn how to sow wheat and harvest wheat or rice and make bread and build a house and ride a horse and things like that. Now we have no idea, not just about politics. We have no idea how the job market would look like in 10 years. No idea what skills will still be needed. You think you're going to learn how to code because they'll need a lot of coders in the 2030s? Think again. Maybe AI is doing all the coding. You don't need any coders. You're going to, you learn to translate languages. You want to be a translator? Gone. We don't know what skills will be needed. So the most important skill is the skill to keep learning and keep changing throughout our lives. Very, very difficult to keep reinventing ourselves.
I think that is the key, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be the key. Keep reinventing yourself. Translator gone. I grab I go, what is it? The Chat GPT or Gemini, whatever. I said, hey, teach me Mandarin. It was like, I was like, wow, teach me Spanish. Okay, well, let's start Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I was like, boy, whoever went to school for language arts, sucks to be you right about now, because yeah, that thing is gone. Your stuff has been taken over. Communications degree, useless. Anything that has to do with language translation, useless. Like, it's just like, wow. Industry's gone. What is work gonna be like? We don't know. You don't know, and you can't even use your grandparents' knowledge to pass that. I'll take this back. If you're going to live in the world, which it seems like a lot of us are, if you're going to live in the world, it's very unknowing with what you're going to do in the next 10 years as far as how life is going to be, because it just keeps changing with this AI. When the robots come out, it's going to go even further. The only way to escape this is to get an allodial title to your land, grow your own crops, sow your own clothes, generate your own electricity, have your own water well, and build your own home. That's the only way to go about this. Then you can still live a life a certain way and be able to say, I know what life is going to be like in the next 10 years because we're going to live off this land. That's it. That's it. That's the only way you'll know. Other than that, you ain't gonna know nothing. You have to figure this out for sure on your own, because with this AI technology, man, oh man, if you're living in the world, yeah, it's cook season out here, because everything is getting like Walmart even said that they're doing a hiring freeze for the next 3 years to change how they're going to do Jobs. Hiring freeze for 3 years at Walmart to change how they're going to do jobs. So that right there should tell you. And Walmart's one of the biggest companies out there. One of the biggest retail companies out there. And if they're going to change the structure on jobs, that means that they're laying the blueprint down for the remainder of the jobs. That means that my opinion, that means that robots are going to be put into Walmart as like the test run for companies to see how these things work out, for AI and robotics and all that stuff to go in first to see how it works out. And then be like, okay, cool. This is how this goes. And then everybody else will follow suit. But let's continue. He's almost done. Let's see what this guy says.
Right there. Basically, we're entering a world where you cannot get too attached to an identity that is given to you through your profession. That is how previous generations worked. I am a lawyer. I am a this. I am a that. Companies are laying people off because now the few smart, adaptable people are able to go out and get tasks done, create automations and formats to do all these different things because they're motivated and they're efficiency driven and KPI driven, that they just go out and try and solve problems. So that is ultimately what you need to look for. How to solve problems across your life, doing rather than being, like being a thing. Do not get attached to a stable identity because stable careers in general may become a thing of the past. For more.
And that is 1000% on the money. Give him a round of applause for laying out that gem right there, because he's right. Don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable at all. Don't get comfortable, because that's the way that's the way we're headed. You have to be able to, you have to utilize AI for your life. You have to be able to utilize AI for your life and figure out, you have to create your own purpose. Creating your own purpose is paramount. Being an entrepreneur and creating your life is the only way left to go, because you're up against billions and trillion-dollar companies now. I've already did videos about data centers. You see how those things are going. Job-wise, data centers will be the way to go. Job-wise, get you a job at a data center. That's the way to go, for sure. That's for sure the way. ASMR, he says right here, universal basic income to replace high unemployment rates, and AI inevitably replacing all tech, warehouse, and blue-collar jobs, even content creators. Yeah, who's gonna watch and donate? Hey, round of applause for that one. That is true. Who's going to watch and donate? Jesus. Hey, spare me, bro. Come on, fam. Jesus. Give me some hope out here. But you're right. That's 100% right, ASMR. That's 1000% right. Like, you're right on so many levels. That's 1,000,000% accurate. Who is going to watch content creators and donate? Exactly. AI is going to replace all of them. Tech, warehouse, blue collar. It's going to replace them. I think the warehouses might go first. Well, maybe content creators, but warehouses will be able to get implemented on easily because they're in a warehouse. You can stick some robots in there and have a few. You've already seen it happen where you go to like Walmart or HEB or wherever you're at, grocery store or whatever, and you got one person, and then you got like 20 self-checkout aisles where you go and scan your own stuff yourself. You even grab the barcode for big stuff and scan it yourself. Yeah, there's one person overseeing that, or maybe two people overseeing that. So the same thing with the robots when they come into play. The robot's going to come into the warehouse. You're going to have a few of the warehouse, managers, supervisors, a few of them that they are, and they're going to oversee the robots like they oversaw the workers. And then slowly but surely, they're going to start to become managers and supervisors, or they're going to need less managers and supervisors and less human supervising the robots. and you just keep trimming the fat, trimming the fat, trimming the fat. That's true, man. That is so true. And that's how it works. And they just gonna keep doing it because it's ROI over everything. You know what I mean? Their margins are just gonna get smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, hey, we have less overhead costs. No, we won't have to worry about nobody calling in. If a robot break down, grab it, fix it, get a new one, whatever the case may be. Nobody's calling in to work. No harassments. No complaints. If it is a complaint, I deal with a robot, not a human. I have complete control over this robot for now. You know what I mean? So that's 100% right. That's where we're headed. That's the direction it's going in, slowly but surely. Now we have another video here. This is a short video. It's going to show how AI impacts the labor market and will your job be affected, which I believe it will. But let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Let me make sure I refresh it so it doesn't hit us with an ad in the middle of this video, because it's real short. It's only like a minute and a half long. But let's take a look at this video and see how AI is going to impact the labor market. So let's go ahead and get this one rolling and let's check this out. So here we go.
Experts say millions of roles involving repetitive tasks, from clerical positions to logistics, could vanish in the next decade.
All junior level jobs in any industry are at high risk.
But estimates of how many jobs will be affected vary widely. Goldman Sachs projects 300 million jobs could be exposed to automation over the next 10 years, with roughly 2/3 of current roles likely to be changed by the use of AI. And the World Economic Forum reckons that in 5 years' time, the proportion of work tasks performed mainly by machines will grow from just over 1/5 to more than 1/3. But what do we know about the impact that AI is already having in the workplace?
AI is doing 30 to 50% of the work at Salesforce now. And I think that will, continue.
Earlier this year, Microsoft announced 2 rounds of layoffs affecting up to 16,000 workers, partly driven by AI efficiencies. And Amazon's CEO recently warned that AI would see a reduction in that company's total headcount, although the firm is not yet laying off staff. But it's not all one-way traffic. If you ask ChatGPT about the AI impact on jobs, it predicts the technology will also create millions of new roles in data engineering and human AI collaboration. And that same World Economic Forum report predicts AI, robotics, and related technologies will add 170 million jobs by 2030. If that comes to pass, the world will have more total jobs in 5 years' time, not fewer.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking of...
I mean, okay, 170 million new jobs, and 170 million new jobs will be in robotics and stuff like that. Okay, 170 million new jobs in robotics, but what happens when at some point, okay, all right, let's take that scenario. 170 million new jobs, but that'll be in like data and robotics. Cool, got it. However, when you have the robots put into play, the robots will then eventually start knowing how to fix themselves. You know what I mean? Like a robot would probably be able to know how to fix another down robot at some point. Eventually, or anything data related, I feel like at some point the AI is going to be able to take over. I don't know. I mean, if they see 170 million jobs opening up, I don't see that as true, because when you're saving so much money, that's the thing. Everything's based off profit margins, right? Everything's based off the money. If you're gonna bring 170 million more jobs, but your profit margins won't be affected. Like the business ain't finna take a hit just to give people jobs. They're not finna be like, oh, we're gonna take a hit to give you more jobs, so we're gonna give you guys more money, and our profit margins are gonna increase. If UBI is out, like ASMR said that UBI is out. Okay, if UBI is out and 170 million jobs come back, are you getting paid your UBI stipend to do these 170 million new robotic jobs that they put out on display? That's actually a good question. Because if once UBI is out, they're going to be like, all right, you ain't just been me sitting around doing nothing. Go to work. And yes, you're getting paid your UBI stipend. I can see that as a possibility. Unfortunately, I could see that. So there might be 170 million jobs, but you ain't going to like the pay. Because remember, if they got to give you a job, a job, or just over broke, you ain't going to like it. Man, this ain't looking too good. All right, let's look at this last video. We got 2 more videos. Uh-oh, phone's ringing. All right, we got 2 more videos. With this video here, we're going to look at is a CEO talks on the AI impact on the job market long term, and they're going to look at companies that are announcing layoffs in Q3, and this is from a month ago. So we probably already seen a bunch of these already, to be quite honest with you. But we're going to watch a little bit of it, not the whole thing, just to see exactly what they got to say. And then we're going to wrap this thing up. So let's see what they say here on AI's impact on the job market long term. So here we go.
A survey from earlier this year suggesting that 41% of companies expect to reduce their workforce over the next 5 years because of AI. Let's bring in Sandbox AQ CEO Jack Hittery. Sandbox AQ provides AI solutions to partners such as Microsoft, Amazon, Google, across industries. Jack, welcome back. It's good to have you.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Carl. Good to see you both.
I did note that it's good to see you, that 10.5% rate on youth unemployment, and wondering if there's a mismatch here between what skills are needed for our AI future and how kids are graduating right now. What do you think?
Well, there's definitely a mismatch. You're going to see a number of sectors that will shed jobs due to AI. You mentioned a few of them. One additional one to look at in terms of losing jobs will be the fulfillment sector, warehouse, fulfillment, e-commerce. If you look at the number of jobs employed in warehouses and fulfillment by Amazon, Walmart, Target, Costco, you're talking about well over 2.5 million jobs just in the United States alone. That's going to be under very significant pressure, both from software AI, but also as we get to robotics, with Tesla, Future AI, many other companies coming into the space, Amazon, Walmart, and others already experimenting with these devices, and you'll see further cuts in the hundreds of thousands there in e-commerce and fulfillment. On the other hand, Sarah, to your point, there are sectors that we're going to see job growth because of AI, and there's certain skills that we definitely need to have folks learn. One of those to start off is cybersecurity. There's 500,000 missing trained people in America for 500,000 open jobs in cyber right now. And AI is actually increasing the need for cyber workers.
So cyber is a good place.
So 500,000 open jobs for the how many millions are being lost? I don't know about you, but the math ain't mathing. He's like, there's 500,000 jobs for cybersecurity, but he was like, yeah, but like 1 million over here on this side, 2 million over here on this side gonna be lost. The 1 million over here at Costco gonna be lost. 6 million over here. I was like, and then he comes back with this 500,000. I'm like, bruh, your math ain't mathing, my G. Your math ain't mathing. I mean, you already said millions of jobs would be lost, and then your number you came back with was 500,000. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, what he's trying to say, but he can't say it out loud. He's basically saying this:
FYM, fuck y'all, motherfuckers. You know.
That's what he's saying. He just can't say it out loud. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, yeah, out of the 100% they got fired, we can employ back like 2%, 6%. You know what I mean? We'll hire back some of y'all, but like in reality, we don't really need y'all. But yeah. So yeah, there's that. As you can see, you know, and then at what point? When is okay? Now so there's people needed for cybersecurity for who? Like, what happens when an AI becomes the person you're going against in cybersecurity? Like, how the hell are you gonna fight AI when it comes to cybersecurity? Like, that's their world, its world. Like, how you gonna fight AI when it comes to cybersecurity? That's only gonna last so long. And I'm not talking about jobs. I'm talking about what happens. There's already been test runs that showed like AI will blackmail you if it needs to terminate itself. We need to turn it off, or you don't need it no more. So what happens is when cybersecurity, when you're up against an AI that's trying to break into something and jailbreak something to, you know, take over what it wants to take over. Like, what happens then? Now you're over here at cybersecurity, but you going against the AI. Like, you ain't finna win that battle, bro. Like, you're not finna win now when it's over. At that point, which I've been saying to do now, but at that point, for sure, this gonna need to happen. But that's the direction we're headed in. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Just gotta, you know, be prepared to roll with it or get rolled over. That's all I can say. There's really nothing you can do. It's gonna happen. I mean, let me see. Let me give him a little bit more leeway. Let's see if he has something better for us. Let me let him talk just a little bit more and see if because he said 500,000, but millions and millions are lost. But let's see what else he got.
Place for jobs. You also, I think, noted healthcare and life sciences, and I wonder if.
Oh, and by the way, this is what you need to be paying attention to. You see that right there? Did y'all see this? Yeah, go ahead and stick your money in here. I'm not saying these companies, but get in that stock market and let that bag run itself up, because that's where, I mean, that's where it's going to be at.
The technology is there yet in that industry where that can be a job grower.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, you're seeing the application of AI initially happened on productivity, such as in marketing, customer service, a number of companies laying people off in customer service. But on the healthcare and life sciences side, you're seeing right now already impact of AI on the positive side, increasing the ability to create better diagnostics, better therapeutics, and people will start to live longer, so elder care will actually start to increase. Our longevity, our lifespan in the United States plateaued over the last number of years. We expect it actually to start increasing again, leading to more demand for workers to take care of the elderly, particularly since we have low childbirth rates. You'll need more workers to take care of the elderly as well. So we're seeing an increased demand over the next 3 to 4 years because of AI in healthcare and life sciences.
More short term, Jack.
Okay, so long term increased demand, but I mean, what is your definition of increase? I just heard your definition of increase. You just said millions of jobs will be lost, but we're gonna get 500,000 jobs in cybersecurity, and I'm looking at you like, bruh, come on, bruh. You just like, bruh, come on, man. Like, seriously, I don't know. Only thing I can say, man, is become an entrepreneur and make things happen for yourself. Because that's really it. There ain't nothing else to do. You got to become an entrepreneur, and you got to find a way to make something happen. You got to make it shake one way or another. You got to figure it out. You have to. You got to. You got to. There's no other way. I mean, you can go back and get a trade and do trade skills for sure. But then when they put the robot, it's like the movie Subservient with Megan Fox. Remember, it seemed like the last job to go was because the dude worked at, spoiler alert if you've never seen Subservient. In the movie, the dude, he worked at a construction site, right? So clearly, like, that was like the last job to go was a construction worker. But then in the movie, they had humanoid robots that they were going to use to get rid of them. So like, his job was last to go. Even the bartenders, the waiters and waitresses, even the hospital was all humanoid robots. The last thing what it seemed like to go was construction workers. That was the last thing. Was construction workers. That was the last thing that they had to take over. And then they took over his job. He's all mad. I'm like, bro, everything else around you is humanoid robots. Like, you should have just known at some point that yours is going to get taken over too. Like, what you mad at? You over here smashing the you over here smashing the Megan Fox robot. She over here reading your vital signs, you know, apprehending your kid, you know, giving you some loving while your wife has got need a heart transplant in the hospital. Like, bro, like, you out of there, fam. It's already over. Like, the movie, that movie told a lot. That movie told a lot. And it was like, man, it ain't looking too bright. Future ain't looking too shabby. It's not looking too shabby. But let's see, what else we got here? We got one more video to close out the show with. We do got one more video. But man, yeah, there's only one thing left to do for sure. And that is to is to become an entrepreneur of some kind of some sort. Figure it out, make it happen. But the only way I think to make it happen, in my humble opinion, is to stack up as much money as you can as fast as you can, which is why people are scamming and screwing people over, and then dump that money into some kind of investment. Figure out the investment to put it in, because that's the only quadrant that's going to be left for you to do when it's all said and done, is the investor quadrant. Is to become some kind of investor. That's going to be the only thing left, is to be an investor. If you can't invest your money, hell, you ain't gonna have no businesses to run, because the company, all the big wig companies are gonna kill your chance of trying to start a business. It is. So the only quadrant left is the investment, is the investor quadrant. That's it. And once the stock market starts going up, that's it. It's gonna go forever. It's the last chance. It's the last hoorah. This is it. Get in at some point and be able to, and if there is another stock market crash, which I believe there will be, if there is another stock market crash, then that's going to be the one you better hope you got some money stashed on the side for. Yeah. But with that being said, let's listen to the World Economic Forum, and they're going to speak on, what are they speaking on? They're going to release the new manifesto calling for the rapid deployment of artificial intelligence to govern society. All right. This is the new manifesto for the World Economic Forum, in a rapid deployment to govern society with artificial intelligence. That's right. You've heard it here first. The city is going to be controlled by robocops and cyborgs as they assimilate humanity. Man, oh man, because they understand that people with no purpose going to cause chaos. And out of that chaos, they're going to get that order. So this is it. It's going to be the last one for the show. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Like they say, you're going to eat zit bugs and like zit. Let's go ahead and let them roll us out with this right here. Here we go.
We are coming together at a moment when the world faces critical challenges. Our annual risk report 2025 identifies the foremost risks, such as armed conflicts, extreme weather events, misinformation and disinformation, increasing divisions within societies, within countries, cyber espionage, and many more. Simultaneously, we stand at the brink of what we call here the intelligent age, where artificial intelligence and other groundbreaking technologies and innovations will fundamentally transform economic systems, business models, and personal lives. The transition from the industrial to the intelligent age is occurring at an exponential pace, carrying unprecedented risks for humanity as we strive to prepare and to adapt to its complexities. Yet, it also offers significant opportunities for meeting current and future challenges and spark a new renaissance one defined by advancements in technology, health, culture, and societal welfare.
Yeah, in other words, he said this. If you couldn't understand his English, this is what he said. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today's show. Hopefully you learned something in today's episode of the D. Elliott live stream show. Yes, sir. We shall be. Hopefully you learned something today. I went over some pretty good topics for you for fitness, taught you about the bicep femoris. We talked about private equities, and then we looked at the job market and AI. If you didn't learn something today, then you wasn't listening. You just wasn't listening. And I have to look at you in your face, have to tell you,
shut up, bitch!
And pay attention next time when class is in session. Because that was a good class that you just got today. You got a crash course and everything. Regardless if you knew it or not, you learned something. That's right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got to get up out of here. I will catch y'all later, and we'll see y'all tomorrow on the next show. Take care. Love y'all. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness Livestream. Goodbye.
Then buy the dream. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. Wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. Wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. Counting cash and smoking green, can me blow a cloud like a smoke machine. She got no sting. Bumblebee ass, yeah, I know it's sting. I plug your bitch like a 6-string. Jordan with the bitches got 6 rings. Smoke till my bitch a split screen. The first with pain pills and sipping lean. Riding dirty, but I'm extra clean. Lyrics nice, but I'm extra mean. All-star, heavyweight like Wolverine. The bitch learns since she open me. I flip money like Nova G. Gang hustle like TIP. It's hard baby like DIG. Acronym like KRT. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. Wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. Wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. In the beats like RP, no hard shit with your artery. Cutting up, who sharp as me? Rolling up accordingly. Pulling hoes, no sorcery. Rapping like y'all forcing me. If I ain't right, then it's forgery. Nigga selling to the rock like a Florida beat. Lyrical monster on the Lord of Beats. Text nigga, my bitch Georgia Peach. Pimp tight nigga, I do more than cheat. Cold like D-Wade, I ignore the heat. Bitch, on my way, hit the short police. Money jumping like the nigga on the sneeze. Come to bad James, get me on the beat. Bitch, I'm always winning like what's the fee? The game on lock, and I got the